Are you? Yes, there we go. I'm picking me up. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Simple Path. This is episode 49. We are getting close to that big 5-0. Also, miracle of miracles, we have the whole gang here together today.
Very shocking.
Very mindful.
Konnichiwa.
Hello.
Bronichiwa, hello.
So,
Hola, mi amigos.
very glad to have you back. I thought we were going to lose you there for a bit. Also, what the fuck is that?
What is what?
My
You're drawing a geometrical design on my map.
yes. Do you like it?
Why is it a cat?
I don't know what the hell it is. Is this supposed to be some sort
It was
of like...
it looked like a knight for half a second, and now it has cat ears.
And it looks like some sort of impressionist geometrical landmark. Like, is this going to be the next Eiffel Tower?
Yes.
Oh, see, you're gonna give it like a sun crown. Like
And then I'm
Aurelia.
gonna jump off of it.
Is this gonna be a simple path version of a Mickey Mouse statue?
Oh my god, it's Hatsune Miku.
That's a
Mickey.
legally
my
distinct
God.
Mickey Mouse statue, obviously.
K-E-Y. The mouse is coming for you. Haha.
If I let go of one button, this goes away, and I'm set.
Yeah. If you hold down shift, you can remain, even when you let go of the click.
Nah, all beautiful things must go away. Anyway.
All things must come to an
Goodbye,
end. If you must
Debbie.
take a picture of it, do so now. Take a picture of
Then
the last one.
fall, Abby.
This picture goes hard. Feel free to screenshot.
Just mind that for a second. Anyway, so last we left off, the group had just gone through the process of assisting in the downfall of a dragon. There was much jubilation on the part of the people. Linger. So Grim, thank you for the self-care. Good way to start us off. So, the city was in a semi-panic state. The king tried to do his best to kick off the festivities, right? Doing so with the christening of the nation's capital with a new name and a new national color to ditch the old depressing black that they used to have as their national flags, as well as declaring a new national holiday, which, going by the way that things are going, may end up becoming more than just a holiday and more like a half week. The nation. The nation's capital, now called Verdigris rather than Morbany, is now alive with celebration and with much fanfare. Drinking, dancing, feasting. And then there's you guys. You all have your own different ways of spending the festivities. Karya is deep in contemplation, accompanied by his younger brother. Siren, I believe, is hoping to kick her shoes off and go out and enjoy herself a little bit. Hollow, I believe, didn't do too much. Mallory spent a good portion of the first day of the festival waiting for and then gaining audience with the king to entreat him for some extra benefits, or at least for his portion of the reward. Vark has, I believe, done his usual thing of hermiting himself away, and Flick went on a drunken rager the moment that the fight was done. Shortly after, the first day was drawing to a close, so it was becoming evening just about. You guys were visited by a man of the cloth, a member of the clergy, specifically of the papacy, the papal states. He declared himself, at the very least, some sort of representative who came to you in a diplomatic function and capacity, hoping to create a amiable and cooperative relationship. Information was exchanged, and expectations were laid bare. You guys stated a potential interest, but wanted time to make your decision. He said that was perfectly fine, and he would return in a couple of days, and then would entreat you for your answer. So, for the time being, you have a couple of days before your expected audience with the king, where you can talk business with him. And that's according to Mallory, that's when he first expects himself to be free to discuss and to properly talk without too much getting in the way. And also, just before the expected rush of diplomats will come flooding into the country. And then right around the same time is when you expect the priest to return. That said, given you guys were quite tired, injured, and in some cases drunk, the evening winds down. You take your time to rest. Chaiko, who up until this point I think probably was in the wagon after getting hauled into there, is partially singed, maybe missing a bit of the fur on her tails and maybe like the ends of some of her locks of hair, as well as her robe probably got singed just a bit with a gout of fire that roasted the party. I'm going to assume, based off of the previous behavior, was quite tired and just spent the day resting.
More than likely, yeah.
They explained the non-presence in the conversation last session. You were simply comatose in the bed.
You try fighting the dragon, all right?
Yeah, can't argue with that. I'll say with that, it is the morning of the second day of the festival. You all have had time. You all either take your time to think, rest up, eat, drink, be merry. But all in all, get your rest and wake up to a city that quite clearly did not sleep nearly as much as you did. Though the partying is most certainly less intense than it was yesterday. It's lost at least a bit of the overflow of steam it had. It's gotten something of a bit more of a semblance of order. Shizuka is here in spirit because she's a ghost. The city is now properly decorated. There are banners and streamers and flags. There's the downpour of petals has come to a stop and is now instead gathering in the cracks of the cobblestones. It's caught in people's window blinds. Overall, still gives that faint, gentle whiff of floral scent about the city that every time a breeze passes through intensifies. There's the sound of children screaming and laughing and dancing in the streets. There's the clatter of horse carts. There's music at every corner. There's the sound of tankards clacking together, forks scraping against plates. The city is very much alive. So my question becomes, because I was told, at the very least, that this was something of interest to at least a couple people, how would people like to spend the second day of festivities?
Well, first things first, Flick, as he's awakening to the sounds and sights of the city, still kind of awake, is presumably waking up with a slight hangover. Yeah, considering he practically right into the drinks after the dragon fight.
Yep, then got back and then was smacked with a sleep spell.
Yeah, can't really blame him though. What's his first dragon fight?
Not many can claim that.
Yeah. So, going into the second day, Flick will probably space it out a bit more. He'll probably, just go around the city, maybe get food here and there, maybe do some, dancing, singing, things of that nature.
Okay.
Space out his drinking a lot more sparingly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Question for the DM.
Of course.
Would you say Draco is probably alone right now?
I mean, you guys are sharing a room in the inn, so probably not.
Would I be up before everyone else?
If you so wish, yes.
Okay, yeah,
You
I
get a
spent
lot
all
of
day.
sleep.
I spent all day. Yeah, So, at some point before hopefully everyone gets up, I would like to. Chico will get one of her funny masks, as always, turn into her human form, cast Silent Image, and change the color of her hair, and just go out.
Okay.
Like a disguise?
Yes, exactly like a disguise.
Yeah, it doesn't want the notoriety.
Yeah, makes sense. Smart.
Yep. People saw a kitsune fighting the dragon. Well, suddenly a blonde young lady in a mask is now roaming the streets. So, that's my intention for the afternoon.
Is there anything in particular you would like to keep an eye on?
Maybe if I can, I can't remember his name. It's been a minute for me. The king. I doubt I'll see him though.
Guillermo de Lorbus.
He's very
Guillermo?
busy at the moment. He's in the palace.
Yeah, I figured. No, I guess at the current moment, just going around aimlessly, just just being out because she rested long enough.
Okay. Here we go and walk the streets. Okay.
How many days of festivities?
It's estimated it's going to be a total of 3. You're currently on the 2nd.
Right.
It's
Well,
Silent
I
Image.
think Siren's gonna kind of take after Chico and, except instead of just roaming the streets, do what she did a couple times before. Take her teapot, find a corner, preferably in like the center of the festivities, but if that's too crowded, maybe a bit away, just so she can sit down and kind of set up, and just to talk to people who decide to have a drink and kind of gauge their understanding of this, how the dragon was felled, their understanding of the situation of the new holiday and the festivities and King Guillermo, and like just how people are approaching the whole dragon slaying event.
Every single time you set up this stand, all I can think is my mind goes just to Peanuts, as in the
the Charlie Brown therapy
psychiatric
section.
help the doctor is
Yeah, it's like that, yeah. But it's also for the purposes of information gathering.
Of course.
Hand out propaganda. It's a good idea.
No, not like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could always hand out like religious tracts for your faith if you can get those printed up. That's a good way of,
Yeah.
of
Or
spreading the religion.
business cards for our services. We can now put Dragon
yes,
Slayer
net-
on our
You know
cards.
what? I could take the sack of cookies and be like, I made these. Do you want to try one?
Where are they?
But
Where are the
Siren's
cookies?
not that
I think-
chaotic.
Does
I still have
Chico's-
them.
Oh,
I
yeah,
never
no,
I never
right,
gave
you
them
got-
back.
You got
Wait,
handed
are they with
those.
Karya?
They're with Karya
Yeah.
at the moment.
I took it,
Oh,
and
no.
he's
Haven't
and
touched
just
it
to
since,
mention-
which is admirable self-control. Though I say
Indeed.
that, but the fact of the matter is, it's been too busy for you to probably even think about them.
Exactly,
Well,
and
he's
I
still
will
ruling
mention
from the
I
heart.
do I do remember that I mentioned last session that Karya got his own room, so he's probably sitting in there right now eating. Not eating these cookies, but he's probably going to be bundled in a snuggie with some cookies.
Oh no, he's mourning.
We gotta think of gonna
Sad.
remember the when Snuggies were invented in this world.
I still have a snuggie. It is
I
so
have one too.
comfortable.
It's his
Oh, right.
cloak.
I have one.
His
Have I
health
one?
cloak.
Yeah, you do.
His old cloak. He's just wearing it backwards.
Yeah,
What?
that works. You're wearing it like a blanket.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kari is spending time in his room. Siren has gone off putting up her psych booth. Chico's wandering around the town. Flick's gone off partying, but not quite as hard. We're holding himself back a bit today. That leaves Hollow, Mallory, and Mark. Hollow, what are you doing?
Today's just an ordinary business day for Holo Holo, and by that I mean potion.
Ah, I see.
While everyone's out festivities, or maybe he won't stay cooped up forever. Probably like during the beginning of the Holo Holo will just be working on some potions for the party.
The room will stink a bit.
Yeah.
Why? Somebody
Because
smelly?
he's doing chemistry.
Someone's. Oh, I was gonna say
Is
someone's
somebody
blasting
smelly?
No, I mean he could go out to the wagon and do it, even though it's all singed and shit. He could still just work out
Mhm.
there.
I mean, yeah, we still have the wagon. It didn't get
True.
burned to a crisp, thankfully.
Are the horses still alive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just got their butts got a bit singed.
Okay, we just
Yeah.
got to do maintenance on it at some point.
Definitely could use
On
some
the
love at moment.
horses.
Yeah, the horses are probably pretty traumatized.
The horses are
Poor
definitely
things.
a little bit sore after getting their asses roasted.
Yeah.
Do not
okay.
the horse.
Do not the horse. Okay, in that case, you're gonna do a bit of potion making, then go out and wander about the town a bit. Mallory, what do you do?
Uh,
Well,
I'm gonna go to a bar.
Okay, gotta drink away a little bit of that dragon fire. We'll go from there afterwards. Vark, what are you looking to do today?
Oh no, Park.
Give him a moment,
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
Be comfy.
I know.
Mark, are you
fell
with
asleep
us?
before.
Is there a Vark in this room?
Vera.
Is there a Park in the room right now?
I just heard him.
Oh, it's a Tia. Look at me.
What?
She's in the chat.
Oh, hi.
Oh.
He did mention she was intending to summon him should the need be.
Mhm. Also, Grim, dragon rinds are a great idea. And you take a bite out of it, you chew through it, and you spit out a nugget of gold.
Huh.
Got a point, actually.
That is so funny, Grim.
this-
Ha
yeah,
ha ha.
this-
You're gonna
this-
buy us a wheel?
The snack that bites back.
The snack that smiles back.
Yay. Is that a
Gold dragon.
goldie?
Ba-dum-bum.
You've had goldfish, now gold dragons.
Mm.
Looks at Karya.
Listen, if I'm a gold dragon, I'll be fine with that, okay? I love gold dragons. They're my favorites.
Yeah, but they don't like
They got the whiskers. They got whiskers.
They do got
They got whiskers?
They do.
Yeah, gold dragons usually have whiskers.
Mhm.
Ah.
It's supposed to be
They're
like,
like a
mustache.
blend of yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
they're like
turtles
the
also
blend.
have
They're a
whiskers.
blend of like the Eastern dragons, but with still like the Western design, so they get the whiskers. I love gold dragons so much.
I don't really like Western
Hell
dragons.
yeah.
Would Garfield be a gold dragon then?
No.
I'm
Who's
sorry, that was a
Garfield?
stupid thought. Never mind.
Where did that you come from?
Let's continue.
That's what we call in the business an autistic invasion thought.
No.
But yes, go on.
An intrusive
Yeah.
thought, yes.
Intrusive thought. Anyways, yeah.
Evasion.
I'm just imagining long Garfield now.
Who is Garfield?
The cat.
Who
Cat that
likes
hates-
lasagna and hates Mondays?
Yes.
Garfield?
Yes. Gold dragons have whiskers.
Orange cat.
Anyways, Vera, are
it's
you
felt?
here?
Yes, can you not hear me? Hello?
Now
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Now
We
we
can.
can.
Yeah, we can.
Now we can.
Okay.
Good.
You were
Good.
inaudible previously.
Okay.
So,
Vark.
Vark, what were you hoping to do today? Second day of the festivities. People are waking up and they're heading out and they're doing their thing.
Oh boy. So much time, so many options. Remind me. Did we get paid?
Not yet. You guys gotta wait a little bit before an opening for the king to talk to you comes up, which is probably sometime in the next couple of days. Is what Mallory has said.
Yeah.
He's currently swamped with business at the moment.
Okay.
He's
Hello,
it.
welcome in.
Harold.
Okay. Our next course of action is this is more of a OOC question while Vark himself, I guess, makes a mental note of this in character. But our next plan is to head to the Mordani Confederacy, right? And then he'll head north to to Strasbourg. Is that correct still?
We don't know
as
because
far as I know, the declared
Yeah.
plan of action is to head to Mordon and then head through to Strasbourg. Yes, dealing with the bandit the bandit issue along the way.
yeah.
How easy that will be to facilitate has yet to be put forward, or has yet to reveal itself. Though I believe on one occasion somebody stated an interest in potentially asking for a boat.
Yes,
The
idea
before
of
the
getting a
dragon
ship-
kicked off, as repayment for your favor to him with the fish, the king did say he was going to get a boat set up for you to charter you
Mhm.
over.
Yeah. So
The other ideas, just as a refresh, were that we were considering going to Orthos's domain, solely out of the fact that Siren has been invited there, and
Mhm.
Ikari
Yeah.
was concerned about making him wait, and then also the papacy, I believe that was them, the papal church,
Yeah,
reached
so-
out
Yeah.
and were like, "Hey, we should work together." And while we don't
Yeah.
know the stipulations of that, if Karya joins them to be
can't say
potentially
more about that
freed of
until
the
we
deep.
talk with the priest again.
Yeah, exactly. So we have multiple options right now, none of which we can necessarily say are solid.
Okay, so I can't really prep for any journey in that regard yet.
Hey guys, you want to go to the
And-
Titan's Arm? I'm joking.
Look, man,
Oh,
as long as
yes,
anywhere but
actually,
here.
one day we should.
Can't replenish supplies without money.
I mean, if you want to go downstairs essentially and help Holo Holo with potion and alchemical making, you could probably sell some stuff.
So hello, Mitch. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for the work. Get some good
Wait,
advice.
Howdy, howdy.
who? You said hello, bitch?
Mitch.
Mitch.
Okay.
Oh
Only
my
you would greet
I was
God.
like,
people by saying hello.
damn.
I didn't know you were that saucy, man. I just like
Oh.
June. You
See,
suddenly,
you,
I didn't
you
realize
you are the
that
kind of
June
person that would greet
was
somebody with "hello, bitch."
Hello,
I
That's
would
fair.
not.
You cannot tell me that you aren't that sassy sometimes.
Hey, bitch. Hey,
It's
bitch.
A bitch.
Hey,
It's- It's Mallory,
Well, that-
bitch.
That is very much you.
Leave
I'm sorry.
Mallory
Shut
alone.
up.
Get it,
Not-
bitch.
not all-
We're going to the papacy.
Okay, so yeah, the general like array of, let's just call them what they are, plot hooks, is you are currently in Verdigris, capital of Lorbus.
Mm.
There is Chico's issue going on in the Titan's Arm. You're not sure if you're ready for that yet. We'll see if you guys are free to go there whenever you can charter a boat to get there, or if at some point you come into owning your own boat. There's also the issues going on up north, that being heading towards the Mordani Confederacy with the next boat. That's the plan, at least as far as the king you've spoken to knows. Which might either see you going up to deal with the bandit problem and then going to Strasbourg to check in there, or potentially from the Mordani Confederacy making your way to Firegrove Valley, where Orthos has extended an invitation to Siren to come visit and seek answers.
Which is a rather nice way of putting it.
I mean, yeah, that's basically what has happened. It wasn't the form of a tattoo, but or actually not even a tattoo, it's a scar.
I mean, like, it's like one thing getting invited to a dinner party. It's another thing getting invited to a cannibal dinner party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if nothing's going to happen.
There's a big difference in terms of like interpretation when someone says, "I'm having my guests for dinner," what they mean by that. And then there's the papacy that reached out to you. They're not necessarily asking for you to come over to the papacy and talk there. They've made it very clear, at least for the time being, that they're perfectly happy talking to you abroad and reaching out to you in that fashion. They seem to have enough fingers spread out and enough agents out there that they're able to keep decent contact with you. For the time being, as the priest put it, whatever favor he's thinking of asking of you would change nothing about your itinerary. He'd ask you to be going exactly where you already plan to be going, just with a little bit of extra luggage.
Okay. With it being the second day of the festival,
Second day.
do we have 2 or 3 days until the summons of the king?
It will be in world tomorrow, probably, maybe. Again, things are a bit up in the air at the moment with how chaotic things are in the kingdom. The idea would be, like, actually not tomorrow, day after. So, on the 4th day. That would be when the festivities would be done, and a lot of the pressure on him would start to ease off.
Okay. with that, having a day to spare, so to speak, I'll devote my time, at least for now, unless something comes up, with helping Hollow Hollow make some alchemical ingredients. Maybe make some money,
Okay.
inject some extra
Okay. So
influx.
I'd almost ask for a craft or profession check from the both of you. So it sounds like you guys are in your burnt out wagon, posting yourselves up and running a bit of an alchemy stall. Fun.
I mean, if you want me to roll alchemy, I can do that.
Yeah. Normally this would be a profession check because it's for the sake of making money, but I'll take a craft check. You guys want to cooperate on that?
Something,
Or you want to just
something.
help with that, or
You guys can do either separate rolls and basically do like one guy runs one half of the stand, the other one guy the other, or you guys can do it as a help action. Up to you.
which way would you like to do it?
I believe you. If we want to metagame this, I believe you have the higher modifier in total.
I have a plus 22 to
can-
alchemy. Craft out.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Damn.
can boost mine a little bit more with inspiration. So I think you should go. Not, and I'll help.
Alrighty, let's go. Damn, that is literally one of the lowest rolls I could ever get.
A little bit off your game. And that
I
is-
did that evil fucking poison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time.
This is the lowest that I could have rolled. So
So, Vark gets a 19, Hall gets a 25. Vark's coming up to a 23 with the inspiration, or the insight. Yeah, you guys...
There was a boon.
there
Hey,
was a boon.
question.
So there was. What's up?
Do I see this stall?
I mean, this would be happening probably not too far away from the inn, since this would be being run out of the wagon. So, depends. You did wake up before anybody else. Do you ever like circle back to like towards like the gate of the city?
Realistically, what she would probably be doing is essentially just walking in a giant circle. So probably, yeah.
Yeah, you would pass by. You would eventually, over the smell of food and drink and flowers, there would be the pungent smell of chemicals wafting through, cutting through the softer scents, and yeah, you see in a little miniature alchemy station, Vark and Hollow kind of bustling back and forth, mixing things, and just camped out underneath it would be Paka and Lolo just kind of dozing as the heat of the burner fire for the alchemical station keeps them a little bit warm. And then hanging from the ceiling of the wagon is actually no, you guys left those in the you guys left those in the inn. I was gonna say the birds, but no. Oh god, those guys would have been in there with you as you were sleeping.
Hello.
Oh my god. I forgot they existed.
Yeah, they have a tendency.
Yet
to-
another reason.
Are you-
Yet
wait,
another
wait, are
reason
you
that I'm
sure
happy I
that-
got my
they're
own
so
room.
slippery they even slip our
Oh my
minds.
god. Are you sure
Um,
that they didn't perish in the fire?
No,
Mm-hmm.
because you guys specifically stored them away. No, you left them in the palace. That was it. You left them in a room in the
So they
palace.
would have been
those
annoying
poor
King
bastards.
Guillermo.
Oh no.
Someone shut those fucking birds up! Oh,
Hello.
You know what's really funny about that? If we left them in the palace, that means that they're still there because there's no way we can get in. So they're still there,
They're still
just
there.
pestering the shit out of Guillermo while he's trying to work.
not Guillermo, because they were left in a side storage room, so they'd just be pestering the staff.
Oh, that's even better. That's somehow
Oh.
better.
So my question here is, can Funny Fox eventually roam around and see? Oh, let's see where I can selling potions. Would you say their stall is busy?
It depends on what they make, because they might be brewing some
Well-
just random stuff.
Well,
But it is a festival, so nobody's looking for alchemist fire during the middle of a celebration unless
It
they're
will
looking to burn down a
definitely
house.
be bustling
Real-
with customers
What if we were
after
just?
I reveal my master plan.
I see.
What if we were making like sparklers and like small fireworks?
We could do that.
I'm kind of scared.
Okay, the reason I ask is because I'll just say my intention. I'll let once my plan's out. Let's see what the information I can have. If they're not busy, Chaiko is planning to stroll up and go buy something. And go, oh, loudly. Oh, thank you. I love these things. These are great. Thank you for selling these. Overly loud and
Oh, okay. So
yada
you're a
yada.
paid actor. You're a plant.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Literally a planted. That's pretty good.
Holo's just gonna look at me like, Chaco, is that you?
Points at the
Beaver
blonde
blonde.
hair.
Look, Grim. Not everybody celebrates 4th of July by measuring their jolliness and their love of their country through property damage.
Explosives.
Oh my god.
So, can I be a paid actor? Is that something you guys want?
Well,
That's something that's
Vark-
needed.
I defy
That'd be
you,
so
Grim.
good.
But Vark, what was your master plan to rake in the customers?
Would you categorize drawing under a craft skill as well?
I would put that under.
Probably artistry.
It would be artistry.
One of the new skills introduced with the background system.
Yeah, that would be like that. Yeah, that's a background skill. If I was gonna say, like, without the background skills, that's nice to see. I got your attention, T, with the mention of explosives. What would it fall under normally? Because I would say that would be a craft skill, unless it's the profession where it's like your whole thing is like making paintings and selling them in galleries and stuff. But normally I would consider that a craft skill, unless we go with the artistry skill as as an addition. Some might be able to, like, if you're doing it on the street, actively doing it in front of people, some people might consider that a perform skill. But looking at the core Pathfinder, it does say that painting, yeah. Most common craft skills are alchemy, armor, baskets, books, bows, calligraphy, art, carpentry, cloth, clothing, glass, jewelry, leather, locks, paintings, pottery, sculptures, ships, shoes, stonemasonry, straps, and weapons. So paintings would fall under that normally, so I would consider that a craft skill. Unless we suddenly want to bring the artistry skill in, which we have never touched.
Is that even on our sheets?
No, because we are using.
It's a background skill specifically.
Yeah, that's an optional rule, and our sheets do not accommodate for that.
Yeah. Well,
Are you doing
Here I go.
portraits?
no. I can't draw for shit.
Paid actor time.
What about like just a dexterity check?
With a total of 21. I would say Vark takes a little blackboard slate that he has and draws an okay rendition of a decapitated dragon looking sad into the camera with piles of gold thrown about his corpse.
That's
And
fucked up.
And
Oh my God.
and beneath that image, he writes "Dragon Slayer's Alchemical Remedies," and he hangs that above the wagon.
Okay.
You know what? Thank you, Vark. Very cool.
Okay. So with a 21, you're able to draw a decent impression of a wide-eyed dragon face, just kind of forlornly with like a little tear coming out from one of its eyes towards the viewer, surrounded by a horde of gold. As you post that up, Dragon Slayer alchemical remedies. Now, mind you, you're not the first in doing this.
Yeah.
There are plenty, like, what do you call it? There's plenty of stalls that are going, like, products worthy of a Dragon Slayer, or shops claiming to have served members of the military that helped fell the dragon.
See,
weapon
the thing
shops
is,
in particular.
we are
I have a new
operating
plan.
on the Dragonfire Singed Wagon.
I see.
Got a point there.
And our little merry band of idiots is not recognizable like just simply by sight, but if someone were to question, were you really there, one of us could feasibly go ask any of the soldiers who were there. They would recognize us.
You know what's funny? Vera? What I was going to my new plan was going to do.
Oh,
Oh my God! Are you guys the ones that were actually on the battlefield? That cart. I was going to point out the burnt cart. Something. You guys fit the description of the people who were on the field fighting the dragon. Were you guys really there?
oh my God.
My
Did
heroes.
Mallory pass along to the group that the king was hoping to keep that a bit on the down low?
Oh yeah. Oh
Was it?
yeah. Oh no.
Hey, I haven't done anything yet.
This may present an issue, but we'll go with
Subsequently, Mallory didn't really talk to the group that much, so probably not.
Wait,
Mallory-
but
Mallory
that
was
doesn't matter
pissed at
because
Karia.
no, but it doesn't matter because although Guillermo was the last hit, he had a whole
That's-
army with him. So
that's-
we're just part of the army.
That's not the issue. But then again, I'm not gonna drub you over the head with it because he's not here to explain it. But it's not about claiming last hit. It's about something different. Hey, you guys are just a bunch of wandering adventurers. You got nothing to do. We're like international affairs, and it's fine.
Yep, knew it.
So yeah. So you, Mallory did explain the whole thing of like he's probably only going to be free in a few days, and then we're expected to be in before the glut of diplomats. But I don't think maybe he didn't get to that bit. So you sketch this up. It draws a decent amount of curiosity. In fact, there are plenty of people hanging around the front of the stall when Chaiko in her disguise happens across it. More than a few people.
A random young lady.
Just a
Chaiko
random young lady, blonde, wearing a mask for some reason, unlike everybody else in the crowd, which makes her extra stealthy. You guys are obviously pelted with the questions of did you make remedies for the dragon slaying the players? Did you provide stuff to the army? Was your alchemy used to fend off the dragon fire, and all those pesky little questions? There's a man off to the side who observed you. He looks like he's got this one of those boxes that hangs off of his by his in front of him by his shoulders, like a strap. And he's serving.
Oh, one of those.
He's like serving sandwiches and kebabs out of it. He observes your stall, and he seems to appraise it for a second. He waits for he kind of sets up nearby, and then when it lulls down a little bit, he does approach, and he tips what looks to be a ratty old top hat to you when some of the people move away a little bit, leaving a hole in the line. He sort of like rumps up with the big old like the vendor box hanging off of his front, turns it to the side a bit so he can come up close to the stall, to the wagon without bumping into it, and he says, "Well, this looks like you've got a fine establishment going here. But what's a pair of fine gentlemen like you selling here?"
He sounds like he's going to ask me if we have a license.
Am I in line still?
Oh yeah, sure, for sure. In fact, you would be quite close, quite far up on the line.
Okay, cool. So I'm listening in on this.
Okay. He's like, now, I'm a man of little means myself. I was just hoping to get to network with a couple of other fortune-seeking entrepreneurs. I couldn't potentially ask you to bum me a Tinder twig, could you?
What?
He's asking for a light.
Yeah.
He's asking for a match.
Oh,
That's what a Tinder twig is. It's a piece of wood with a little bit of alchemical coating on the tip that you strike against a rough surface and it lights up. It's a match.
I see.
Hold on.
Let me check if I actually have some left.
You can
Because
also
I
make
know
some.
I had some.
They're an elementary alchemical item to make.
Yeah, they really are.
They're just like a bit of sulfur on the tip of the stick.
Well, no, I have some.
Hmm. How much do prestidigitation lighters cost? Too much for your typical person. A pittance for anybody with actual means.
I was gonna ask. Hey, can I cast Spark?
I mean, you could.
Actually, no. I don't know what he wants to light. So never mind.
Vark simply opens his vest and reveals, like in a nice like several like slings of fine fiber in his vest, where the tin bricks are stored like matchsticks, one after the other. He pulls one out and hands it to him.
Well, thank you very much, Governor. As he like brings up one of his feet, he tucks it in the under the tongue of his boot, and then
He Vark snaps his finger, and the tin brick lights up.
he just shoved it in his boot.
Ah, never mind then.
He's
Okay,
on
never mind.
fire. He's dead.
He just stuck it. As I just stuck it in the tongue of his boot.
Okay,
In which
okay,
case you
fair
just
enough,
lit this
fair enough.
man on fire. But
He stuck it in his boot. I said what I said.
I thought he was gonna do that thing where he
where
uses
he
his
like
soul
runs
of
it
the
across
boot.
his boot.
Yeah, yeah.
No, not quite that cool.
Okay.
No, he tucks it away. It's like it's very obvious this man is not like necessarily the most finely dressed. He looks like a lot of what he's got on was at one point finery. Like he's got a ratty old top hat. He's got what looks like a three-piece suit that's seen better days. A pair of boots that are very well worn. You could swear that the soles of the boots probably just about have like an eighth of an inch left to them. And so the man gives you a little top tip of the hat, and he reaches into the box and provides and extends you what looks to be a sausage in a bun. Yeah.
Ask him about his business plan.
My thanks. And if you'd like a little bit of mustard on that, I can spare it for a cuppa.
Vark reaches out, takes the bun, or rather, he grabs a hold of the bun. He doesn't pull away just yet. What is mustard?
You've never had mustard? Oh, you've been missing out, my friend. Give me a cup of corn and I'll show you the wonders of the world.
Oh my god, he has a business plan.
Copper for mustard.
As I'm assuming you transfer him a copper.
Yeah,
I'll
oblige. Yeah.
He reaches in and produces what looks to be a corked glass bottle. It's about as foggy as it gets, but through the scratched up glass, you swear you can make out a hint of bright yellow. As he then brings the bottle up, pops the top off so that the cap lands on the top of his box, and then upends the bottle to lay out a thin, precise stream of mustard that goes straight along the sausage. And then he corks the bottle again and puts it back in the box. Also, yes, Grim, if this turns into a spice trade game all of a sudden, I'm going to be very weirded out. And with that, he's like,
The spice.
We march to
The spice was
Orthos'
slow.
front door just to sell him mustard.
you knock on his door. It's like pizza delivery, and that's how you get in.
The mustard must flow.
Is this your diamond crusted pizza? Yeah, is this?
But yes, he has laid out a thin line of some sort of yellow sauce across the top of the sausage. And with that, he tips his ratty old top hat to you, and he saunters off down an alleyway.
Don't eat it. It's drugs.
Vark inspects the mustard lathered bun.
It's kind of
Or
runny.
the
It's
sausage
very,
in a
it's very
bun.
thin.
He inspects it like a scholar would inspect an ancient artifact. Like he turned it over, sniffs it.
The sausage nearly falls out. Hola Hola has to catch it for him.
So if you'd like to appraise this with a potentially a taste test, I would allow either alchemy or I would allow appraisal as a skill. So the appraise skill.
Are you appraise the hot dog? I rolled to appraise.
I'm gonna if you want to actually like dissect what has been used in the sauce, I would say a taste test would probably be for the best. And then
that is precisely what I'm doing.
I
Actually,
thought
like,
you would.
Mustard. He heard of mustard seeds. This is not seeds. What is this?
Can somebody please draw a picture of Vark looking into the ocean and then going, "This is not seeds"?
Man.
Vark is about to be lost in the sauce.
Mustard.
This
Right,
is
he is.
not
He looks
seeds.
at the sausage and goes, "What kind of animal is such a long tube-like shape?"
This
He
looks at the
she would-
sausage.
she
This
would
is
know
not
this.
sauce.
For the 430s, 437, she would know
She
this.
would know this.
My master
She would
would
know
know.
that.
My master would know what a pork sausage with mustard on top would look like.
Looks at the sausage. This is not a sauce, and this is not seed. It's so confused.
I thought sausage would be an aged sauce, but it is not.
Oh my god.
So you take a bite of the sausage. You chew, you swallow, and you allow the flavors to spread across your tongue. Sausage, definitely ground pork. A little bit of bread, actually a lot of bread. A little bit of pepper. I think maybe a hint of gunpowder. The
Huh?
bread tastes light, fluffy, bit stale. The mustard, though, spice, a little bit of sharp, and then like a momentary match flame, ironically enough, across your tongue from the tip down to the back. There's a shot of pain as a little bit of spice runs along it. You remember when you read about mustard seeds, you heard about how when eaten, they had a heat to them, supposedly, and were popular when crushed and ground up and added to something. This must be what mustard is. It's ground mustard seed. And then there's a few
Bark,
other things in there.
Grimaces. He coughs, and he's trying to keep as straight face as possible. But Hollow, and probably Shaiko as well, can. He is forming in his eyes. And he's.
Mhm. And then-
He's
And then there's something else.
draining himself.
Yeah, so there's the spice there, that's the overnote, and then there's the stuff underneath as you dissect the flavor and you realize that's the major punch of the flavor, but there's something underneath, and you realize that mustard maybe only comprised maybe about 5 to 8% of the actual formula. There's plenty of water in there. There's flour, you taste flour, and acetone, paint thinner. And then that kind of heady flavor just kind of fills the back of your sinuses and hangs there.
Well, Var kind of whirls around, tries to locate Hollow through his nearly shut, tear-covered eyes. And he basically shoves the bun into the other's hand.
My sick has been poisoned.
Yeah, Grim, ironically enough, dwarfs are some of the most spice-tolerant people in the world. They have some of the craziest food. They just don't share it with anybody. Yes, Vark turning to you, Hollow Hollow, you see like his eyes are puffing up a little bit, his lips are growing like a tinge of purple, mixing with his strange blood mixing with the when inflaming, rather than causing like bright redness, is causing a bright purpleness, and you can see tears kind of gathering in like between his eyelids that are squinted shut.
I think it's just spicy.
That's some strong
Hey,
fucking mustard right there.
I think it's just spicy. Actually, I'm gonna like whistle the hot pocket Rolo. Sorry, go ahead.
I've never had anything spicy.
You did once.
The
The
flowers.
spicy flowers.
I specifically abstained from those. I was
Right.
sugar shocked.
Oh,
I was
right.
sugar shocked.
He had sweet.
Right,
And
no,
that
it was
was,
it was Siren that that helped herself to the spicy flowers.
Yep.
Yeah, she ate all of hers at once.
Nice. But yes,
But yeah,
so this is Vark's first experience of spice. Oh shit.
Yep.
yeah. Holo's gonna whistle towards Paco and Lolo and be like, "Hey, can you try this for me?"
He's taking a bit of the sausage and giving it to them.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Like, Varka's actually like retreated to the innards of the wagon and is actually laying down.
You retreat,
clean
you
that
lay
yet.
down in the wagon that still smells of blood and vomit, which is probably not helping your situation.
Oh no.
I feel ill. Oh.
Give me a fortitude save, Vark, since you're playing this up so much. You are actually technically poisoned because that's what capsaicin is.
Yeah.
It is in fact a toxin.
Fortitude.
I've
I'm
never
not gonna.
thought mustard is spicy though.
I'm not gonna.
That's because you've
inspiration this.
never had proper like grainy mustard. If you have like English mustard or like seedy mustard, that stuff kicks like a horse. American mustard is sweet rather than spicy.
I don't have mustard often. The only mustard I really get is like Dijon mustard.
Yeah, Dijon mustard doesn't pack very much heat. If you have English mustard, or if you have like the ones that have like the whole seeds still in, like the seed rinds, that shit kicks hard.
Is it like horseradish heat? Because it kind of sounds.
Not in terms of flavor, but comparable in spice.
No, like to what
depending.
it does. Like, is it like nasally, like that? Nasally?
Yeah, it's definitely like hits you in the sinuses.
Okay, yeah, okay. I think I know what I mean. Like, where it's like, yeah, because wasabi and horseradish, that's
Yeah.
what it kind of.
It's
not
funny
really
people talk about English folks not eating any spice, but one of their favorite condiments is rough ground mustard, which like kicks you in the face.
But yeah, Mark rolled a 19, so he's doing well.
He's
think.
doing okay. You're gonna have an upset stomach after this, but the spice does eventually rescind. It seems to be kind that's only very shortly lived. There's still that paint thinner after fume in the back of your sinuses that just refuses to go away.
Don't feed it to your familiars.
Then Holo just gonna take a bite out of it.
Okay.
There.
Fucking okay. Hollow. Give me a fortitude, and if you want to dissect it, also an alchemy.
Okay, 20. Oh shit!
Your palate explodes for a moment. There's that line of fire that goes down the back of your tongue. I don't think necessarily that Ridgeback cuisine was especially spicy, all things considered. It was very much a lot of umami, a lot of fish, a lot of what do you call it, like seed greens and and red meats, thanks to the capybaras, like the giant capybaras they had on the island. Not a lot of source for spice, except for what you guys managed to trade out of the shibaki. They had lots.
Yeah,
of
I'd say I'm pretty
spices.
sure like shibaki.
Yeah, that was assuming that you guys felt like trading with the lizard folk, and they didn't often inspire such civility.
Yeah.
So awesome. There was an ad break running. You guys want to take like a 2-minute break and get up and get a drink, walk around a little bit? Take a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a small break.
Mark is just dying in the corner.
We can get to the to Holo Holo's breakdown of the mustard sausage in a moment. Meanwhile, while this is going on, somewhere in the background there seems to be, off in the distance, there seems to be a bit of a commotion happening for a moment, as there is a yelp of what seems to be alarm, but it seems to be short-lived.
If I may direct your eyes to the simple path channel.
Is this a chemical weapon?
Nice. Sausage
let's
of mustard. Is this a chemical weapon? Yep, sounds right.
What's really funny too is if he's actually poisoned, everyone's like, "Oh, haha, Vark, you just haven't had this before." And meanwhile, he's like foaming at the mouth. He's like,
Eyes roll back in his head.
"Oh, Vark, you're so funny." Wake
But
up.
you know, I just like to imagine Ho literally just like ate the whole thing. Right?
Oh god. Christ alive.
Honestly, if you keel over, fine, fuck it, right? But I didn't want to turn to your capybaras.
No, honestly, don't lie. It would have been funny if like Lolo or Paco would have just ate a bit and they just immediately
And then he's
evaporated.
melted.
Yeah.
It just turns into fucking water. It's like, I can't get. Okay, everybody, alchemy's closed. I can't cast spells anymore.
Yeah.
No, I can cast spells. I just can't.
Also,
You can't regen
business has come to a crashing halt, as one of the alchemists is currently laid up in the back of the wagon, and the other one is currently taste testing a sausage. God,
The fa-
I didn't
the-
think
I
this would
guess
be a
the-
scene where we get hung up on, but I'm glad we did.
something. The random young lady.
I'm never
But
gonna
yeah.
I'm never gonna get my Dragon Slayer's remedy.
Yeah, Holo just eats it, looks at Vark.
These are Dragon Slayer's remedies.
Mhm.
It's taken out by a sausage.
This burns
Also,
worse than Dragonfire. Help. Help.
Worst case scenario, you do have the vomit capsules.
I have the fucking potions that remove nausea. Ah, ah.
God, just like you've eaten one sausage with like a thin line of mustard on it. Suddenly you have to start chugging fucking what is it called? Pepto. Just like you pop a pink bottle open. Please stop.
Vark, be careful. If you drink too much, you'll throw up, and then you just start throwing up pink shit.
God, we have 2 vomit scenes back to back in as many episodes.
obligatory question now I have to ask.
Please
Would Chico be used to spice up? Probably not.
There would. I mean, like the Titan's arm has forms of spice.
Fantasy equivalent of wasabi? Question?
Maybe. They
I
don't
mean,
quite.
it would
They don't
probably
quite
be the
have the
same
sort
flavor
of.
notes.
They don't quite have the same environment that would promote something like that to grow there.
Okay.
Wasabi's a very like picky plant.
It's a picky plant that requires a lot of water.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Anyways, if Draco wanted to try it by, I could give her some like
Yeah,
before I
but-
eat.
You're gonna hand this thing to a random customer.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
you want some?
Yeah. And remember, honestly, Rami, this is a holo thing to do.
Yeah, fair. If you like, it's like someone is looking at the sausage one. Anyway, ads are done. So
The hollow.
So hollow.
Hollow.
Rolling a 20 on your fortitude save against poisoning, which is good. Yeah, this is. It spends about a minute in your stomach before it then starts turning into just forming almost like a rock in your stomach. The sausage, mostly bread. The bun, a bit underbaked. The mustard, not really mustard. It's like if this was under FDA regulations, it would have to be classified as a mustard product. Because it is majority not mustard. The amount of this actual formula that is comprised of mustard seeds is, calling it mustard would be charitable. That's the best way of putting it. Most of it is watered down with just water. little bit of flour to give it some thickness, and same as with bark, the strong aftertaste of acetone, paint thinner.
Holo eats that, kind of does the thing where he like just kind of licks his mouth a little bit, flicks his tongue for a bit, and he looks to Bark and he says, "That was the worst thing I've ever had in my life." Anyways, and he's gonna go back to working.
There's paint thinner in there. Who does this?
Evil
This man
man.
needs to be
on the corner,
tried in a court.
on the corner of the street, just down the way from the cart, not even having to run a roll of perception for this because he makes his presence very well known. Just as he says, "Who makes something like this?" On the corner, a now far more singed-looking, blackened, sooted up, sausage and meat pie seller, now with a sign hanging off the front saying "Dragon Slayer Snacks." On the corner, the man is now barking to the crowd saying, "Sausages and meat pies fit for dragon slayers. Serve them myself. Cut me own throat, I swear."
Oh, that son of a bitch! Chico killed this man.
You used me for
know
land
what?
development.
You know what's funny?
I can respect that actually.
I changed line. I changed my line.
Just like everybody else is like reacting with like murderous hatred, and then there's Mallory was like, "I respect the hustle."
Anyways,
I
Mhm.
love
Right,
So,
Corey, chop his
I'm
head
in,
off.
I'm in a new line. No longer a paid actor. Well, I mean, I guess technically a paid actor still,
Now
but
I
a
am
different
paid
goal in mind
assassin.
now.
Sorry. Sorry, I was momentarily distracted there.
Oh, you can hear my click clacks. Let me fix that.
I can't hear it.
Well, it's look like
Yeah, I
it show it.
I
It
didn't-
looks
I
like
didn't
it's
hear your
showing
click
up
clacks at
on
all.
the It's look whenever I type, my mic the signal goes. So, it's probably fine if you can't hear it.
Yeah.
One last thing. Can you take a gander at the DMs one last time, Mr. DM?
Of course.
DMs with the DM.
So, what you doing?
So, so let me get this picture. Let me get the picture straight. Our friendly merchant here gave my friends a food item that caused them
If you can
great
call it food,
pain.
yes.
Correct. So let me get this picture right. So served food that now has my companions in pain. Correct.
How badly is Hollow Hollow reacting to this? Because it's not pleasant, and it's definitely like the acetone is definitely like filling up the back of your nostrils.
Oh wait, when you said acetone and paint thinner, he actually just put chemicals in
He
the mustard.
watered
Yeah.
down. He cut the mustard with acetone.
yeah.
Fuck.
It
Yeah,
didn't just
no.
taste like that. It actually is that.
Yes.
That's
Oh my God.
that's why Vark is so
Sick.
incredibly. He's almost offended in a way.
Holo Holos did say it's the worst thing he's ever had in his life, and then
Mhm.
he went on and then continued on,
Yeah.
like with his work.
And it's a day and age where paint thinner is cheaper than getting mustard.
But if there's anything around like Holo Holo, it's like take out like a different tasting of substance and like that's made like preferably edible, swish it around in his mouth and either like probably drink it or spit it out.
I like the preferably edible was the clause there. Like he just pulls out like a piece of wood and just starts chewing on it.
Some cultures actually do that, funny enough.
Chewing sticks
I
are a thing,
know.
but they're usually used for dental care, not for like palate cleansing.
Yeah.
But you can like take out a bit of ration, like a piece of jerky or something, chew on that, hope that the spices can help dull it out. But nothing can quite get rid of that sort of lingering, bitter, aromatic aftertaste.
Anyways, Chaco killed that man. Joking. Not the one won't actually say that.
The man is drumming up business. He's barking to the people. Every now and again, someone comes by, and then after he's sold like 3 or 4 sausages, his genuine Dragon Slayer sausages, he then starts moving back down the street around the corner, disappearing down the way.
No. I'm not. This is not done.
Yeah, just in time for people to take their first bites out of the sausage and have a horrendous reaction to it.
Varg is stepping out of the wagon and he's quaffing a potion of invisibility. I'm following him.
Hey. Back off, bub. I'm already following him. Not invisibly.
Holo's gonna see his friends leave, shrug, and he's gonna go back to business.
Chaco, who's still in disguise, who was in the line and then just exited and started making her way after this guy.
Holo's gonna look at like just what happened, shrug, go out to the sign and write on it. Now with like, what would be
under
like the
new management?
No, not under new management. Something like we sell like this world's equivalency of like Pepto-Bismol or some sort of like stomach.
What was that? What was that alchemical item that gets rid of nausea called?
I believe I still have some of them in my inventory. 1 second, let me go down my list.
You mean Ipecac?
I believe it is. I believe it is Wismusalix, but let me check. Yes, it is Wismusalix.
Yeah, Holo's gonna write down the sign outside and go back in.
Oh yeah, it's.
We cure tummy aches written on the sign.
In the PFSRD, it's called Peptis Salix as well. If you drink a vial of it while suffering from nauseated or sickening condition, you may immediately roll another saving throw. There's also Soothe Syrup, which gives you a +5 bonus on nauseated and sickened resistance.
Huh.
And then Holo's gonna do a little small cappy.
Now, it's like you add in a little like now serving stomach remedies, and with now a little doodle of a capybara next to it.
Yeah.
Maybe with like a yuzu sitting on its head.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chaiko has gone tearing off after the man, very discreetly, still in her disguise. Vark also sounds like he's gone off after him. Excellent. Well, we can put that scene on hold for a moment and come back in a little bit. This is turning out to be a very eventful day already. Oh boy.
Here I was trying to boost the sales of my companions, not friends. I never said that.
This man's literally gonna get people ill, incredibly ill.
Man, it's not a food festival. You don't get food poisoning at least once, right?
But not like that.
Oh, what food poisoning do you prefer?
Well, at the very least, the unintentional kind.
Well, not intentional on his part. He's just selling people his wares.
Breathing high levels of acetone can cause throat and lung irritation and tightening of the chest. This man could kill people.
Yeah.
But
he's a man of low means, you know. He doesn't have a lot.
I'm sure that Vark is going to catch him and get him arrested, but I really love the idea that just Vark brutally stabs him to death in an alleyway. It's just like never again.
Speaking of throwing the book at somebody, it's Siren's turn as we shift perspective over to her. She set up her little table and chairs with a teapot in the middle. Giving advice and hoping to. In this case, I guess, strike up a chat and maybe some gossip.
Yeah, I'll say as time goes by and she's like sitting there drinking her tea and looking around at the like festival decorations and different stalls and people passing by with food in their hands, and maybe there's some kids with like little like dragon face paint or like decapitated paper mache dragon heads that they're like chucking at each other. She's growing increasingly worried and disturbed at seeing all of this.
Well, in the case of in the case of the kids, a lot of them are playing with look like to be paper streamers tied to the end of a stick, colorful paper that resemble kind of like almost a worm, or in this case, with the addition of little paper wings stuck to it with some way or another folded onto it or like pierced through the paper. Do kind of have the semblance of a legless, headless dragon streaming off the end of a stick. There are other children with different kinds of face paints. There's cats. There's dogs. Asking whether or not one of any of the cat folk might find that offensive is a discussion for another time. Can't believe children with cat face. Anyway, the festival as it goes is lively. It's got a nice atmosphere to it. It's very lighthearted. There's good food going around. There's drink being spread out. There's long tables where people are sitting as like a community, where especially in the residential areas, which you might be set up a little closer to. And on occasion, people will stop by your table, asking you what exactly you're doing, what you're hoping to accomplish, or what exactly you're offering here. Because it's not often just a singular woman is sitting at a small table with a pot of tea. And then eventually, one tall, heavily armored woman comes along. She's got a full breastplate, almost comprising a full set of plate mail, and what looks to be a bar mace, which is like a long shaft of wood with like thin, long plates set along it. So it looks like a baseball bat with long, thin plates running from tip to handle, basically. And that is something that she's got strapped on her hip. Helmet under her arm, greeting people as she goes. She comes across your stall and goes. She brings the bar mace up and from one hand and like pats it into the other. So, I wasn't aware we had somebody serving tea. Have you got a permit for that stall?
Oh, no, this isn't a stall. I'm not selling it. It's just free for anyone that, wants to sit and have a chat with me.
Her nose wrinkles up. She says, I'm having you on. It's fine. We don't actually require any permits right now. If getting all that set up would be far too much work when it's this spontaneous. She puts the bar mace back on her hip and then lowers herself slowly down to the seat, being very careful that her armor doesn't put the full weight onto it. She leans forward, resting her vambraces on the knees of her on her knees as she leans forward and says, I am curious though, what are you doing here? It doesn't look like there's no, like you said, you're not selling anything. There's no price list, so you're just drinking tea?
Yes. Well, not just sitting and drinking tea. As you notice on the chair that you're sitting across from me, I offer conversation, advice. Oh, really, just an ear to anyone who wants to, speak, vent, talk, any troubles or anything exciting you want to say. But really, it's just conversation for anyone who wants to partake.
I think that's lovely. A more suspicious person might think you were perhaps trying to pump people for information, but that's just professional cynicism on my part. She extends a hand over the table and says, my name's Bianca. I am a member of the guard. And she offers you a hand to shake.
Siren will extend her hand in return and shake and say, pleasure to meet you, Bianca. My name is Siren.
Her hand is especially in the gauntlet, is quite sizable, but she makes sure to take your hand in a gentle grip as she gives it a firm shake, and then rests her arm back on her knees and says, so, consider it part of the curiosity, but what brings you here into Lorbus? Or, yes, here into Lorbus in our newly dubbed city?
Well, you see, I'm part of a traveling party. A few friends and I are just, kind of sightseeing, seeing where we can help out, perhaps make some money or spend money where we can. Just out here, venturing, seeing the world.
It's a a novel lifestyle. Not many people are willing to put that kind of risk on their lives. But I hear that the sights to see out there are definitely something. So, enviable. How do you like our city so far?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I mean, I've been to a few areas here in the kingdom, not just this capital, but a few of the neighboring cities as well. I have to say, your appreciation for flowers and nature and hard labor, hard work, I admire it so much. Being from a smaller village myself, it sort of feels like I'm in my own home, but just a bigger version of it. I quite like it.
Well, that's high praise. It's not often we're told that our home feels like home to others. Where are you from, actually? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh yes, I'm from the village of Diet. It's smaller in the... What country is it in?
Flaminsk?
In Flaminsk.
Flaminsky. Oh, we get plenty of folks coming here from there, but I don't think I've ever heard of Diet. You did say it was a smaller place, so that could make sense. I myself am from a small farming village myself, just well, it's about a day's ride from here. Little place. I haven't been back there in forever. It's don't often talk with the folks back home. It's been a bit. We didn't leave on the best of terms, but I hope they're doing all right.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's fine. It was a mutual decision on both parties. We had a disagreement. I wanted to become a knight when I grew up. My parents disagreed, and when I left and I joined the military corps, I got injured, unfortunately, and now I'm on guard duty.
Oh.
Yes.
My.
If I hadn't been injured quite so badly, I would have been out there riding with the rest of the army to go meet the dragon. But I can say I'm just as proud to have been here, making sure to be ready to evacuate and keep the people safe if things came worse to worse.
Well, I, for one, congratulate you on your service so far. I thank you for keeping
She gives
people
you
in...
a coy little smile. I barely did anything. It was the Outriders that brought the thing down. I did my part.
Well, it's not just bringing the thing down, per se, but also keeping the people in safe.
Well, thank you.
Both parts.
What did you think about
it's-
that, by the way? The attack. I hope none of your friends were caught up in the panic.
Oh no, I mean, we were, I guess, notified that it was happening, since, there seems to have been uproar within the city. When it did, we saw a lot of guards exiting, a whole army to go and confront it. And I will say I was very worried. I'd only ever heard of such a creature in fairy tales, so I was quite concerned for the safety of not only them, but for the people in the town as well.
We can agree on that.
And-
It was, I wasn't expecting a thing from a picture book to come flying out of the sky and attacking the city.
Yes,
It's hard to believe when we first got the announcement.
Yeah, rather scary. Although now that it is felled, I don't know if this is rather controversial, but I can't help but feel a bit sad. I mean, I'm elated that, in the end, disaster was prevented, but it's a shame that such a violent confrontation had to happen in the first place. Such a legendary, majestic creature.
That might be controversial to some, but I think I have to agree with you. Part of, at least, my hopes and my oath joining the City Watch and also hoping to become a knight was to avert conflict where it was not necessary. Obviously, being a part of the Watch, our ultimate goal is to mediate problems before they escalate to violence. We try to avoid gestures down to the barmaid. I try to avoid ever using this when absolutely not necessary. Sometimes I must. Sometimes I never even have to pull it once in a day, and I thank the gods when that happens. Ultimately, the fact that it had to happen and that a life had to be lost is tragic. And looks around and says, while the children don't necessarily comprehend the gravity of everything that just happened, it is a bit grim seeing just exactly how the celebrations happen. But to everybody within these walls, a living creature that had burnt down, I think it was 4, 5, 6 villages, was headed straight for our city. And it's about as simple as it gets. Either it dies and we live, or it lives and we die.
Yes, unfortunately, there isn't much of a choice there.
It's always sad when life gives us little choice. There was no winning in that regard.
No, but given that it's been so long since we've seen them, don't you think it's a little strange that one just showed up out of nowhere and just started ravaging?
Well, it wasn't until a couple of it wasn't until after the attack that we were debriefed that the dragon had been known about for at least a few months. That the kingdom was attempting to establish talks with it. But all the stories I had been told as a children was that where the dragons were terribly intelligent and capable of great manipulation and wordplay and schemes.
Yes.
So it's strange that this appeared out of nowhere and simply started attacking it. All descriptions of it were more like a wild animal than some sort of mystical ancient sage.
Yes. I'm also more familiar with the intelligent portrayal of dragons. Although I do hope that celebrations from here on out with this holiday are more to celebrate the success of the battle rather than the slaying of the dragon itself. It feels a little
gruesome.
I don't know. Yes.
I agree. But that's going to be up to the people and to the future generations what exactly they consider the most important part of the celebration.
That's true.
I mean, if we look at some of our current holidays that we have, things like the flower viewing, where villages from across the nation bring their best specimens of the flowers they've been growing throughout the year, the generations of blooms that they have created. That used to be a competition of wizardry, of creating artificial blends of flowers that could fulfill different uses, and now is simply just a flower growing competition where the ultimate gift and honor is presenting the king with a laurel of the most popular flowers, and the king awarding some sort of favor in return. It used to be it was a kind of magical competition, and the winner would gain the ear of and become the magical advisor to the king at the time. And generations later, now it's just who can grow the best flowers. Things change with time, and we'll have to see. Will they make it about the killing, or will they make it about celebrating that we continue to thrive and live? Time will tell. I hope our children go forward taking the more positive interpretation.
Yes. I wish for that as well.
That said, though,
I actually had a bit of a question for you.
Well, please. I've asked you enough.
Mm-hmm. You see, I've never really done this since I'm always the one opening myself up to listen and provide advice to whoever asks for it. But if I may, can I ask you for some advice?
Naturally.
What would you do if all of a sudden there was this drastic, stressful thing that happened in your life, that requires that you go and speak to someone of great power, or do something very important that your life may depend on, and running from it would only make things worse. How do you approach being able to sleep at night or keeping a level head in a situation like that? If you even know how to do such a thing. I know this is a rather big question.
It sounds a bit... Well, it's obvious that you don't want to give away what exactly this is. I imagine it's something personal to you, or important that you not give away everything. So I respect that. How powerful are we speaking here, and how bad could things get the longer you leave it?
Let's say if I choose to ignore it, or even if I go and speak to this high power, but I choose my words not so carefully, or I say the wrong thing, they could take my head. Frankly, if I'm to understand
Sounds like you're being
the behavior.
not so cordially invited by some form of tyrant.
Yes. Now, it is for the purposes of answering questions, which is quite a simple thing if you think about it, but I've naturally never met this tyrant, so I don't know if it really is just that, or if it's some kind of trap, or... I don't know.
Well, it sounds like you've got yourself in a very interesting situation. It's certainly nothing like anything I have gone for, but if you're asking me for my advice, what I would do is I would try to learn as much about this person as I can. Sounds like you know very little about them, and you've never met them before, so you don't know the content of their character. So that's difficult to gauge. But it sounds like they consider themselves quite highly if some mistake and insult could lead to you losing your head. I would treat it like meeting a king. I would show deference. I would be selective in my words. I would try to not butter them up, as anybody in that position can usually tell when somebody is being insincere. So be forthright but respectful. Be assertive but deferent. Don't claim yourself their equal unless it seems like they acknowledge you as one. But don't stray from the purpose of the visit. If they have invited you there to speak and to trade information in some way, whether they're answering your questions or you're answering theirs, you never quite elucidated on that. But if that's the case, then go there with that in mind. And if they have invited you, and they have the means of putting such pressure on you even when you are not in their court, then it sounds like the invitation is possibly not a trap. If they're so dangerous that you fear for your life even so far away from them, then why would they invite you into their court only to betray you then? It seems like, at the very least in their mind, it would be beneath them, wouldn't it?
Oh. Actually, you know what? I never thought about it like that, but it makes sense.
So, approach them with respect. Show them you value their time, but you also value yours. And be straight to the point. Speak to them, answer the questions, or ask your questions. And assuming that there's nothing else beyond that, it sounds to me like they would more than likely let you free, as I don't know what exactly they're capable of, but if they're asking for some traveler, like they're asking questions of some traveler, I personally wouldn't find much point in killing somebody or disposing of them after just a simple conversation. So
That's fair.
Yeah, and then hopefully once the conversation is done, you can wash your hands of each other and never have to worry about getting another invitation again.
Yes.
And that's about as much as I can suggest without actually knowing more details. I hope whatever it is that has caused this to happen, it doesn't. I wish you the best of luck with it. It sounds very stressful.
It's all right. I'll be fine.
If
But
it's
thank you
anybody
for your
within the city,
advice.
you know you can let the guard know, right? Well, we have means of dealing with people like this.
Oh, you needn't worry. Trust me. There's nothing you can do.
I'll
But like I said,
Okay.
I'll be fine. And your advice actually does quite a lot to.
Well, I'm very
soothe me.
glad. I'm very glad I was able to help.
Mm.
I don't know if I should ask this. Are you married by chance? I know you're on the road a lot, but
No, I'm not.
okay. Sorry, I didn't know because people marry quite young, so I wasn't quite sure. You look like you're quite young. 'Cause I'm thinking of like it's going to be our anniversary in a couple of weeks. I was wondering if you had any
Oh.
suggestions for an anniversary gift, but I never
Oh.
know what to get him.
Oh. Oh, that's very sweet. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long has it been since you've known each other?
Well, since we've known each other since we were children.
Oh.
He when he was about when I went off to join the knights, he said he was going to be my squire. He said he ended up setting up a small pottery shop here within the city, and he's been pursuing that ever since.
Oh.
We married about 3 years ago, and he's been the one
Oh.
keeping the house for the most part, while I've been working as part of the guard.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Thank you. It's unconventional to some, but it's a lifestyle we both are very happy with.
I wouldn't say it's unconventional at all.
Thank you. Well, I'm not going to take up more of your time. Honestly, if I just wander down the street, there's probably going to be something that strikes me as an idea. But I feel very refreshed out of the conversation. I wish you the best of luck with all of your endeavors going forward. And if ever there is something you might need of the guard, even if it's not this problem, ask for Bianca, and I'll be there.
I will. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh,
And I do hope
I'd
with
never
the
asked your
festivities you're
name.
able to find a good gift.
Thank you. I never asked your name. What is your name?
My name is Siren.
Wonderful to meet you, Sarah.
Wonderful to meet you as well, Bianca.
And she, with the helmet under her arm, gives you a small bow as she then continues marching along the street. I must resume my patrol. Hopefully we see each other again sometime. I don't know how long you'll be in the city, but whatever the case, may we meet again.
Indeed. Blessings be upon you.
Thank you. And blessings to you as well, as she'll kind of playfully like doff the helmet and continue her patrol.
And Siren, finishing her cup of tea, is going to stand up, look inside the teapot. If there's any tea left, she's going to look both ways before kind of sheepishly toss it. Just pretend like nothing's happening.
There's like a little bit of dregs left at the bottom of the.
Yeah. And then she'll pack everything away in her little backpack. And she's going to go, well, for the hell of it, for the sake of it. It's a festival. Look for a drink of a different kind and maybe stumble upon the bar that Mallory's in.
Maybe. Okay. Let's see. That's 4 people busy. Karya and Vair are currently stewing in their room.
That we are.
Doing.
I mean, I think it's accurate.
It's
I would
sad
say that they're
dragon
pretty
hours.
accurate. Yeah, they're literally just
Stewing,
sitting there.
brooding.
Not a
whatever.
bad dragon, a sad dragon.
Oh no.
Sad
Hey,
dragon.
limp
Sad
dragon
dragon
is
is limp.
Oh no.
It's
limp
limp.
dragon.
God. Limp Drizkit.
Limp Drizkit. Shut up.
That's gonna be Vair's rap name.
Ah,
No.
And then there's He can't measure up to the towering figure that is Great Worm. Ugh.
Dude, the great
Stew.
dude, Stew, Great Worm Stew, my favorite.
Yeah, he's the voice of a generation. So I believe that would in fact leave Mallory, who has been seeking out a watering hole to drown out the fact that he just fucking faced a dragon just yesterday. I assume that is the reason you're going drinking, because it seems we've established so far, Mallory's drinking habits are soundly unhealthy.
Yes.
It's a coping mechanism, not a hobby out of joy.
He's committing a alcohol ick.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mallory, are you just gonna find the first one you can, take a seat, and just start drinking? Or are you looking for some place that you going from place to place trying to find one that suits you?
It's
Blah,
a better place to find one that suits me.
Okay. I feel
Are
like
you okay?
I feel like Mallory is currently perhaps mentally occupied with something else.
Sleepy.
Sleepy.
I was about to say, I was like, wait a minute.
I see. Well. Let's see. Well, Mallory, you go wandering off trying to find a bar that suits your standards, I guess. Whether that's actually clean and nice looking, or just you need to have the strongest fucking moonshine, it better make me blind. Okay, yeah, you're able to eventually wander your way through the loud, raucous streets of Verdigris to try and find a place that'll cater to your taste. You pass by more than a few bars and pubs, a couple restaurants, till eventually you find what looks to be a wine bar of some sort. That is a little more up-classy. It's not quite as full as the rest, because it seems even in the time of celebration, they're still being very choosy about the people who come in. So a little bit elitist, which I think for Mallory is right up his street.
Yeah.
You ascend the steps for it's got an unnecessarily large staircase for something that is at street level, going up about 5-6 steps, which is definitely not deathly to any sort of alcoholics that might need to go up and down them. You walk into a finely furnished wine bar where all the wood is dark and hard. The bar itself is stocked with what looks like many different vintages. The labels invisible at the moment as they are lying on their side in a rack. With a cultured-looking gentleman behind the bar itself, currently cleaning out a wine glass with a soft rag. The man himself is probably comes up to about your chest height. He looks to be well-kempt, stocky, possibly of dwarven stock, with a well-tended beard that comes down into a sharp point at the end of a braid. He wears a pair of slacks, a nice burgundy vest, and a bow tie.
Oh. That's pretty good.
Here and there, and also at the bar, there are a few better dressed patrons, especially compared to the people out these. There are people out here to celebrate, others who were obviously just regulars. But all of them are sipping on some glass or other of variously colored alcohol made from, presumably, grapes. So wine. Everybody here is enjoying a glass of wine.
I will take a seat at the bar.
Okay. You being typically dressed in a little bit finer than most, the man at the front door, the bouncer, would have given you a bit of a leer, seeing a face that he does not recognize, but would welcome you in all the same. What do you call it? He being a rather large, orcish man with pronounced tusks that over a pair of spectacles, analyzes you before nodding you in, allowing you past. He's dressed himself also in a three-piece suit and keeps his hands clasped together in front of his waist almost permanently, fists curled almost seemingly at the ready. But motions you on in anyway. You take a seat at the bar, and the dwarf behind the counter, over a pair of half-moon spectacles, looks up at you, finishes wiping the glass, gives it a little rinse out, leaves it to hang over the sink by a metal rack that holds it up by the base of the glass, turns to you and says, "What can I do you for?" Do you have a preferred vintage, or do you have a preferred type of wine you would like to sample today?
Well, I do love inky, spicy Cabernets.
Ah, Cabernets, I see. We have a good choice of those today. I don't suppose you would feel like giving something new a try. Perhaps we've got a couple of bottles coming in from a little further out, for a little charge extra. We are offering those, considering that this last couple of days has been rather auspicious.
Well, I've never been the type to refuse a bartender's recommendation.
Well then, as he turns around, he opens a cabinet at the bottom and pulls out a couple of dark bottles and says, "We've got a couple of new Cabernet Sauvignons that came in from a little farther afield. The bottles themselves are finely made by elvish craftsmen from the Titan's Arm. They're made in a small village just on the coast. The wine itself was pressed in the southern Titan's Arm and bottled and fermented there, or it was cast and fermented there, in the mountaintops of Hero. There they were stored in cool caves, maintained by a dryad whose hobby was the creation of wines. They create very few at a time. Bottles are very seldomly sold, but we were fortunate enough to get our hands on one. Would you prefer to just a glass, or would you like the whole bottle?
I'd like the bottle, please.
Very good. As he will place the bottle on the table. The label is written in a script you do not recognize.
What kind of script is it?
Well, it looks vaguely elvish,
Oh,
but there's a lot of differences there. Given the fact that this apparently comes from the Titan's Arm, this is probably written in their language.
oh, they have their own local language. Okay.
Sake.
Yes, he goes on to say, while they have their own cultural alcohols, such as the creation of various barley brews and other things, this dried in particular has apparently come upon the Quadranon and the Gadzrich cultural pastime of winemaking with grapes, and so has created her own vineyard up in the mountains that she tends to herself. I'm told that the dryad tending to the grapes gives them a far more plumpness and juiciness, and gives them a rich, novel taste. She oversees the cooling and the fermentation herself as well. Bottles each wine with each wine by hand. As he will then, he will then take a corkscrew, open the bottle, place the cork to the side, and then very carefully pour you a drink as the Cabernet pours out, fills the glass with a rich, dark, purplish red wine. And while we allow that to breathe, I would also like to interest you in the idea that, or in a potential investment. We are investing in bottling and casking a new Wyrmfall brew, a new Wyrmfall vintage that will naturally be bottled on the very day of the dragon falling itself, and in time, after it has fermented, about 5 years from now, will be open for sale and sampling. And to our patrons who show a particular distinguishment in their appreciation of the art of winemaking, we would like to offer reservations for a small cask. Are you perhaps interested?
Hmm.
For everybody watching this, if at all if you are in fact actually paying attention to this, I'm very sorry. This is mind-numbing for some people. All of my experience from this comes from being at whiskey bars and whiskey tastings.
Yep.
They actually do this where rather than try and sometimes they don't try to sell you an actual cask of alcohol. They reserve a freshly cast one, and then you can reserve it for whenever it's finished fermenting, and then just you pay ahead of time. It's like early access for alcohol, and then when it's finished, it gets delivered to you, or you come pick it up, and you reserve an entire barrel of alcohol for yourself.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, it's crazy and great if you have the money for it.
Oh yeah.
Because a small cask of finely aged whiskey, single malt, can go for something like several hundred or even several thousand.
Damn.
Well then.
No.
That's that good shit.
Yes. So, Mallory, do you want to get on the ground floor of some Wyrmfall wine?
Ooh, well, I haven't sampled the wine yet because it doesn't exist yet.
True.
So I'll abstain because I don't live here, and I'm not sure if I'll be alive in 5 years.
Do you put it in those words, or do you just say no, thank you?
He's just gonna say, with the uncertainty of life, I'll have to abstain from making promises that I'm unsure I'll be able to.
A shame. Not all of our customers can necessarily plan themselves around such luxuries. I understand. Now then, the wine has had an opportunity to breathe. Please enjoy yourself.
And he takes a sip.
You've had a good amount of wine in your time. You quite possibly even managed to get your own vineyard going back in your old territory. Small thing. Got your own alcohol brewing in the basement. Not necessarily always the nicest stuff, considering the state of the land you were given. Wasn't always the best for stuff like that. And you also got your own wines imported, and other alcohols. So you're no stranger to drinking, even before you started using it as a coping mechanism. So you've had your fair share of rot gut and also good stuff. This is really, really nice. There's little other way of doing that. When it hits your tongue, it almost physically transports you to somewhere else, as you feel like you're standing on a mountaintop. Cool breeze going through your hair, coat shifting in the breeze. There's a hint of oil, some sort of nut oil. There's a hint of some sort of spice, maybe also a touch of bergamot. It's citrusy, it's sweet, it's tangy, and then the stronger flavors start coming in. And it feels like a moment passes in an eon. And you feel like you've just come back from a refreshing hike in the mountains. There's cool fruitiness on your tongue. It feels like you drank fruit punch instead of wine. There's no tangible taste of alcohol in it. It's refreshing. If you had this on a hot day, today's warm, but if you had this like on a hot summer day, you feel like it would taste maybe 10 times better. There's something crazy about this wine. It's inarguably some of the best you've ever had.
Wow.
No,
I'll have a crate of these.
That's dangerous.
I'm afraid we do not have a crate available. My
good chap.
good sir. Unfortunately, we've only got the 3 bottles, and I'm afraid we're limiting the amount we're willing to give out. Besides which, normally we avoid the talk of the exchange of money within the premises, but I'm afraid 3 bottles may be a bit much, even for your more well-established people. Are you quite sure?
Name your price.
Well, if sir insists. Now, again, a way that a lot of like upper class establishments sometimes work, not all of them, but some of them, is that price isn't brought up at the table. Usually, if you have to bring up prices in places like that, it's because you can't afford it. That's the assumption. Bills are usually sent to a person's household after the meal. It's supposedly also supposed to help with reducing stress and worrying about bills. Like really well-off places, they send an invoice to the person's address after they've had their meal or drink. So when money is brought up in the premises themselves, it gets a little bit tense. But he'll on the insistence will say, well, a single bottle, aged for approximately 50 years, and then taking into account the handling and the cooling, we are currently charging it about 320 gold for a single bottle.
Oh,
For a single bottle, though.
a single
You're-
bottle.
You're about to buy You're about to buy all those bottles, are you?
Hold on, let me actually do some calculations. Yeah, I'll buy 3 bottles.
What?
The man,
Look,
the man,
this makes me feel good.
it's retail therapy mixed with alcoholism.
Make me feel good.
Spending
God
money makes me feel
almighty.
better, okay? As the dwarf he takes the handkerchief in his vest pocket and he dabs at his forehead and says, "Oh my, oh well, if sir insists, he will."
Drinking makes me feel good.
Do you have facilities to store these properly? If the taste does wane with time if not stored properly.
Does the mimic count as a proper storing area?
Oh my god.
I mean, don't you have also an extra dimensional storage space?
That is true. I literally have one on me right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, we have a
I'm
haversack?
sorry, I missed how much these were. How much
320
were
each.
these?
320
Oh,
gold.
okay.
So roughly
Well, hey,
about
it's out of Mallory's.
almost
It's
1,000.
out of Mallory's
for 3.
pocket.
So that's
Yeah, it's out of Mallory's pocket, not ours. I'll take it.
yeah. So he dabs at his forehead a little bit, as he needs retail therapy and wine. Yeah. Would refill a half-consumed bottle? Yes, but not with the wine that was originally there. God.
Yeah.
Just to refill it with just like absolute middle of the lane wine, because magic's weird like that. But the what do you call it? The dwarf, he dabs at his forehead and goes, well, if sir does insist, and he sticks his handkerchief back into his vest pocket, and you have the means to store this. And you would know, handy haversack, when you place something into the extra dimensional space in it, it does not lose temperature, it does not age, it does not change. So as long as you keep it within there, and you take it back out, it'll be just like you took it out of the freezer, or out of the fridge in this case. So he pulls it out of an ice box, 2 other bottles, places them on the table, and says, "If sir would like to follow me into the back room, and we can make sure the exchange goes without issue." I do have to write up a receipt of purchase and make sure that a record is kept that these changed hands. As he will walk out from behind the bar, both bottles in hand, and he will gesture you towards a room off to the side that he will shoulder open and hold open for you.
Oh, wonderful. I will walk in.
Okay, you take the bottle with you?
The bottle, yeah.
Yeah, the one on the counter that you're currently drinking from.
Yeah, I'm taking that with me.
Okay. As he once you're through, he will then gesture to a writing desk that is off to the side. Here, this room is like filled with binders of paperwork, like going up the walls. This is obviously a form of transaction and record room. It's very musty smelling, but also has that faint hint of fruitiness that pervades the whole structure. Puts the two wine bottles down on the table. Pulls off, goes aside. There's a book of receipts that he tears a page out of. Puts down, takes out a pen from his pocket, begins writing. It says, 3 bottles of fine vintage Yozakura from Hiro. Dots the I on Hiro, and then bill of purchase for 3 bottles, totaling 3 times 320, comes to a sum of 960 gold. That underlines a couple things. As he will then place the bill off to the side, and he will then himself take a wand out of his pocket, give it a swish, and the pen will begin perfectly copying the script onto a second receipt, and a spell you would recognize as being Scrivener's Chant.
Ah, I like that spell.
And then he will pass one bill. He will pass both bills to you. Says, "I need your signature on both of these. One is for me. One is for you to keep."
All right. And yeah, Mallory's just gonna sign it, stipulating Karia Arthur. Mallory Charmaine.
Mallory Charmaine. He gives it a look. Says, "Very good. Very well then. Would you like to pay now, or would you like an invoice?"
Like to pay now.
Very well then. If you could produce the gold, we can finish the transaction, and the wine will be left in your care.
Okay. He produces 96 platinum points.
Just a big stack of platinum coins. He counts them out, makes sure that each is a verified platinum coin, and then puts them away into a coffer box where it is separated by coinage. Everything is in order. You are now the proud owner of 3 vintage bottles of Yozakura. Thank you very much for purchasing here. It is always nice to meet a customer who is good on their word and a true connoisseur. If you ever have any further wine needs, then please only seek us out again. We would be more than happy to supply you. Would you like to? Do you have a place of residence that you could, if you would like to have to receive occasional newsletters of new vintages that we get in, or if you would like to order one for yourself for later, you need only ask us. And yeah, I was weirdly enough, of Mallory now will eventually have his own home address here in the city that can actually receive such shit at. So not quite yet. You haven't quite gotten your land just yet. But yes, he's
Keep on liking.
yeah. He says if at some point you would like to receive occasional updates of new stock, or would like to request or order specialty items that are not normally in stock, we are also open for such services. Thank you for your business. As he then looks down at the paper, nods, files it away, and then seems there's a moment of recognition in his eyes. It says, he looks up, he sees your halo, unless you're hiding that at the moment. Are you? Hmm?
Well, I guess in this establishment, no.
Okay. He sees the halo. It says, it's for a name. Ah. He says nothing further. He just gives a light. Ah. As he gets off the stool he was sitting on, files away the receipt of purchase, gives you a small bow, and then says, "Thank you for your patronage," and then returns to the bar, manning it.
Mallory's gonna put the 3 bottles in his lovely bag of holding, and he's gonna, he's gonna continue sitting and drinking for a little bit, and once the
Finish off your
bottle is
glass.
half, yeah, he's gonna finish off his glass, and once that's done, he's going to be on his way again, looking for another place.
Oh boy. Lovely. Are you gonna keep trying to hunt down exotic wines, or are you just looking for places to just rot your gut out?
I'm gonna rot my gut out now. I've got my pretext of civility. I'm gonna put my
That's time for
put
party
my
animal.
tie on my forehead and party.
Oh god. Okay. Now party animal mode is in effect. Lovely. Oh boy. You're definitely going to be probably bumping into Flick at some point then, if that's the direction you're going. Then there was Siren also who was seeking it.
Yeah, or Theron, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe all 3.
Maybe all 3. And maybe that's how we can merge people together. Yeah, sure. You know what? Now that you've had your little bit of finery, and you've tasted quite possibly some of the best wine you've ever had, it's time to wash away the aftertaste with some absolute just garbage. So you go on a bit of a bar hopping spree. Somewhere along the ways, you manage to, in the crowd, find yourself bumping into Flick of the Ear, who is doing something similar. You're going opposite ways. It's kind of both staggering along a little bit to eventually just kind of collide shoulder to shoulder at one point.
Oh, there you are. Narwhal man himself. Come to join us, have you?
Of course, this is a festival, a celebration. It'd be strange for me not to partake in it.
Ah, perfect. You can see he has probably something like a maybe some sort of like bottle of maybe brandy or something along those lines, whiskey.
Something strong, like very little flavor, something that just like burns your tongue and then go right down your throat.
Wait, I cut out for a second. What happened?
Mallory and Flick have bumped into each other. Both are starting to get a little bit sloshed. But yeah. Flick's apparently got a bottle of something harsh, and Mallory is how is Mallory?
How much time has passed?
I'd say it's been like an hour.
Oh boy. Well, Mallory is smiling, at least, as he has a whole bottle of scotch in his hand, and it is empty.
Okay. My. Okay, so Flick's maybe like he's gotten like a good few thumbs into his bottle of brandy or rum or whatever else it may be, and then there's Mallory here, who is
Actually, yeah, probably will be rum considering.
And then there's I don't know, Ari, but people cope in different ways. But the one was an alcoholic by trade before, the other is now one out of coping. But yes, the Mallory's fucking nose deep in the whiskey at this point, and it's gone. Do you guys decide to go to join hands in this bar trawl?
Probably, yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, flicks with a familiar face.
Wonderful. Because that's the case, that means yes, he doesn't he doesn't have to be nearly as responsible as he would on his own. Logic. Drunk logic. But yes, and then I would say maybe like another half hour later, this would be probably more or less just about when Siren has departed from her stall. Would as the morning turns to afternoon, then early evening, the children start returning home. Parents start bringing their children back. And the adults are starting to really come out to play, and things are getting a lot more rowdy as the sun begins setting. And I'm going to say more than likely at some dive pub or dive bar, the singing, the hooting, the hollering, the cheering will have gotten quite loud indeed, as boots are dancing across the tops of counters and tables, and somewhere in there, joined arm in arm over shoulders, just like a chain of 5 guys dancing and stomping atop a counter, are Flick and Mallory, which Siren would see through the window.
Oh my god. So Siren sees this and she goes, "Oh, well, all right." And she just goes in and goes,
So
"Flick, Mallory."
So like you enter the bar, you have to like press through like the crowd of cheering drunks as they watch the men dancing on top of the table. You have to duck a couple times when people kind of just turn around with a mug in hand that nearly takes your head off. And then you're at the table as the men atop it are like stomping, dancing in circles, and just like some bump into each other. They're trying to keep their balance. Boots are like shaking the tables and the floors.
Hell yeah, this is the right kind of chaos. She's gonna go up to Flick and Mallory and go, Hey, are you both drunk?"
Yeah, so
Look who it is!
It's the long-eared one.
"I want to get drunk too. What is the strongest thing they sell here?"
Oh
Go have a
no.
look. Come join us.
Oh no.
So you guys looking down at Sarah now as she's like, "What? Want to get drunk? What's the strongest thing they have?" At which point, what looks to be another catfolk of some form. He looks a bit more lionine. Comes up to you, Siren, like more like less comes up to you, more stumbles into you, sort of like kind of coming down and leaning atop you, like arm thrown over your shoulder. Brings some sort of squarish brown bottle and presses it into your hand and says, "Have a go with that."
I see. I'm gonna give a little sniff test.
How to put this? You ever just like put your nose up to like a can of gasoline and it hit by the fumes?
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually like that smell, but you're not supposed to like it.
Well, yeah, you're not supposed to drink it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But this has that same sort of like immediate sort of eye-watering feeling.
Yeah, so she's gonna sniff it. Her eyes are gonna water. She's gonna go, "Ha!" And then she's gonna bottoms up.
As you just tip it back, and it burns all the way down. And you feel warm on the inside when it like kind of when it like fades away a little bit. You feel toasty inside. You feel comfy, and you feel just a little bit here and there, kind of like little wibbly wobbly. It doesn't take long for it to hit. That is some good shit. That is the stuff that farmers give their cows to keep them warm during winter.
Oh my
Look
god.
at you, guzzling
Yeah.
it down like a pro.
I'm looking at Siren's constitution and I'm going,
Actually, as a matter of fact, you want to give me a fortitude just for the funnies?
Okay. Watch me nat 20, wouldn't that be funny?
It would be funny. Also, a lot of people just
Ooh,
kind of like rolling fort against mundane shit.
Yeah.
You rolled
oh
a
my
22.
God.
Very nice.
That was a 22.
Nice.
Yeah, no, you down that shit like a champ. It barely, like, if as much as it does give you a little bit of wobble to your step, you're still all there. And you definitely got enough coordination left to dance like a drunken idiot. So have at it.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna get on top of the table and I'm gonna
Oh hell yeah!
say to Flick, Flick, what do sailors drink?
I don't know.
Well,
Well,
whatever it is, I want some of it.
Well, you still got your bottle of rum.
Off
So
the
it
top
is
of my head, off the top of my head, probably rum.
Is this it? And she holds up the bottle.
To your sharp and drunken eye, Flick, that is not rum. That is what your people in the business would call rot gut.
Oh God!
It's called that because it's like bottom of the barrel quality shit made out of it's grain alcohol, but definitely not tightly controlled in terms of quality. That stuff was probably like it was either brewed normally in a barrel or was brewed in a boot. Whatever the case, wherever it was brewed, it always tastes like it came out of a boot.
Thing is, like, Siren's
sorry,
had
go ahead.
alcohol before,
Mhm.
but she's never like been bar hopping for the
Yeah.
purposes of getting drunk and festivities. She's just been like
Scumble,
casually
that's it.
drinking.
Yeah,
Like at
Scumble
dinner
would be-
parties and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Siren strikes me as the type who's like she's had a sip of schnapps now and again. She's had wine, she's had beer, ale, cider, all those good things.
Yeah.
But has never gotten shit faced on the kind of stuff they use to like anesthetize patients at doctors' offices.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so she's just looking at her, two party members getting shit faced and looking
Mhm.
at everyone around, and she's like, "Oh, that looks fun, and I'd like to forget about a few
Yeah.
stressors at the moment, so why not?"
Yeah.
So she just goes with it.
The lion actually pipes out and says, "The dentist gave me that one a week ago," as he refers to the bottle. Yeah. So Siren's getting shit faced on Scumble. Mallory's fucked up on Scotch whiskey, and Flick is a goner on rum. He's rumbled on rum.
As after Siren showed him the bottle of what she has procured, Flick kind of mutters as best he can into her ear with the whole like crowd around them.
You have to like
kinda
lean
mutters,
over two
yeah,
other people in the shoulder line
Yeah.
just to get over to her. You're trying to like whisper it to
Yeah.
her, but you're doing it at
It's
like
okay.
stage whisper.
I've got
like-
big ears.
What you got there's a bit of rot gut. Best be I don't know, maybe careful with it.
What? Doesn't all alcohol rot your gut?
I mean, to an extent.
Well then,
But this-
bottoms up, I guess.
Listen,
Takes
I
another
might
swig.
Oh,
listen.
dear.
I might not completely know what a sailor drinks, but hey, I know what you do with them, and that is a segue for him to that is a segue for him to lead everyone in singing "Drunken Sailor."
Oh, lovely. You got the
What will we
shanties
do
going.
with the drunken Siren? What will we do?
Nice.
Drunken Siren?
Yeah, eventually,
What would we do?
Siren's name gets around the bar, and the shanty changes to that. Instead of Drunken Sailor, it becomes Drunken Siren. Siren very quickly turns into the darling of the bar as she's become something of a mascot for all the drunks there. Grim, for the shrooms or the pitcher plant hooch, that's the druids getting fucked up in the park.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's
Oh,
a nice
God.
little chaotic scene as the lads in the bar are very happy to see what otherwise might be a very proper young lady has come in and decided to drink along with them, and she's become something of a mascot as she's being sung about, and also like being something of a spectacle through the large open pane window in the front of the bar.
Can I say, eventually, Siren would probably get shit-faced, and it probably wouldn't take too long, looking again at her constitution score,
Mhm.
I imagine that she's an emotional drunk. So at some point, she would, like, start tearing up, and she'd go, "You don't understand. This whole festival is about a dead dragon, but that dead dragon is the uncle to someone I know who I care about very much, and I'm sad because now he's in mourning, Starts
But you-
bawling her
eventually
eyes
the-
out.
the lion- the lion-
fucking me deserved it.
The lion
Ah,
cat, the lion cat from before. Eventually, he's there with you, like crying with you. He's pulled you, like cradling your head in his mane as he's sobbing along with you. He's like, my uncle was as bad as the dragon as well. I feel for your friend.
No, he's a real dragon.
My fault. He was a real draconian as well. I get it. It's fine. You don't have to be apologetic about it. He's crying
This'll
like the
make you
lion.
feel better.
He's crying like the lion from fucking from Wizard of Oz. He's dabbing his tail with his. He's dabbing his eyes with his tail.
I can't fucking believe it.
Oh my God.
So yes, I think that's a nice little scene there. We can leave that chaos as I think that's going to probably go on until the bar closes, probably.
Somewhere during festivities, Flick probably just offhandedly mentions, from that dragon, I hope I get a little dagger from him, I hear his teeth, I hear dragon teeth are pretty damn sharp,
That's morbid.
We then just cut the Chico and Vark just beating the shit out of this fucking snake oil salesman in the back alleyway.
I'm gonna get to that
What-
next.
Sorry.
What's his name? What's his name?
motherfucker,
Hold
Also, that
on. Johnny, not Johnny. What was it? That one slap, the funny slap.
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage.
The
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage, that's
Cage
it.
God slap.
The slap of
Oh
God.
my God.
Yeah.
Also,
that's pretty
Tia
good.
coming in here with a threat in the shadows. Miar was waiting with a broom. Oh, God, someone's gonna get their head caved in.
No, no.
Oh no.
Oh wait, you know that fucking scene from the old Cat in the Hat movie where he's about to hit a kid with a bat? That's just Miar.
God.
I remember he went, I'm gonna get you, and everyone's gonna think it's an accident.
It's
Okay.
horrendous. Right, so transitioning away from that
Oh, yeah.
scene, lovely as it is, the bar is in full chaotic swing and will be so until like 1 in the morning when it closes. We transition over back to the first scene we did, as Vark and Chico are pursuing the sausage and pie man, the one who's looking a little bit more singed ever since he disappeared out of sight. Swept up in their emotions, nice. So the man is making steady progress down the cobblestone street, moving along the sidewalk, cutting through the people with surprising elegance, considering the fact that he has a box strapped to his chest, which he is serving food and drink from, or mostly food. Nice. Okay, so we got the lush trio. That's their little clique with the man is occasionally stopping every once in a while, usually on a street corner, to bark out his wares, swearing that if it's not something that's up to snuff, he'd cut his own throat. And is selling his stuff for like for a few copper coins each, very cheap, very filling. And so he says, food that's enough to fuel even a dragon slayer. And I'm to believe that Chico, in human blonde disguise, and Vark, in no disguise whatsoever, making their way after him.
He's invisible, isn't Vark invisible?
Yes,
Vark is invisible,
I am
yes.
invisible.
Right, yes. You know what isn't invisible? Your gastrointestinal distress. Well, at very least it's audible. But yes,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh.
I'd say just as a result of like drinking fucking turpentine, basically, you've got like it feels like something's trying to sear a hole in the bottom of your stomach.
Ooh,
Probably more than likely just further motivation for getting this guy. Now, unfortunately, or really something that is going to present a bit of an obstacle, is this man seems to know these streets pretty damn well and seems to have a real knack for cutting through crowds. And you two are pursuing him. What is your intended goal with this guy? And well, yeah, how are you gonna make after him?
It'll
Okay,
look like
so
an accident.
my intended goal is I have a question.
Mhm.
Very funny spell. What I love. I like to call it the magic marker. Can I just dap up like? I know it's not how it technically works, but can I just put
Dap
some
up?
magic ink, dap some ink on my hand, and ink air quotes, and essentially put a mark on him that'll glow.
So you want to do arcane mark?
Yes, as I like to call it, the magic marker.
I mean, accurate.
Simply put, I just want to put a glowy mark on him, on his products and whatnot.
Okay. So like on his box, maybe.
Yeah, his box, his shoulder.
Mhm.
Because my goal is, my intention is, hopefully to get some on his skin. And next day, once I get to next day, whenever I get the chance to meet Mr. Kingman, go, hey, sorry to do this, but can you look into a guy real quick? Dang near caused a few people to keel over, selling bad food. You do something about that?
Sure.
Look for him. He has glowing marks all over him.
Okay.
That's my intention.
Sure. As you're approaching, you're also hearing him holler about the drinks he has on sale. He's got something that he calls 150% proof. It's a soggy
Oh.
mountain run.
It's just rubbing alcohol.
Possibly. Yes, there we go. Okay. You're trying to go after him, and you're trying to mark his little sales box that he's peddling things out of,
And
or himself.
And sorry, I also forgot this. And potentially buy a product and overly react in front of many people about how bad it is.
Oh, I see. You want to actually sample this in front of a crowd. Oh boy. Also, the Dungeon Lounge right again. Thank you very much. Welcome everybody.
Oh,
I see.
Nice.
It was
Welcome.
foretold.
Thank you.
let's go.
Yeah,
I
It was
may or may not-
foretold.
Welcome in everybody. I saw you guys were playing Rogue Trader as co-op. Always a very fun game. If you guys need to kick up your feet and like raid and run, that's perfectly fine. Take your time. Go eat, go drink, go have a rest. Regardless, welcome in. We're currently in the middle of the party in a festival, pursuing a man who has been selling questionable quality meat pies and sausages to the festival goers, and unfortunately, a couple of them were at the receiving end of it and are very unhappy.
I may not be.
Just because the dragon is dead doesn't necessarily mean I can still torture my players.
What's it called? I may not have sold many items, but I'm still a merchant at heart, and I don't like seeing bad salesmen.
Yes.
Bad practice.
I'm waiting to see
essentially.
if anybody recognizes what exactly I'm pulling this from. It shouldn't be too much of a mystery to anybody that can potentially recognize it. I know Grim gets it because he's just straight up brought it up at one point. But yeah, he also hit us with a similar interaction in one of his own games. Beautiful. Anyway, so you're making after him. Vark, what are you doing? You're invisible at the moment. You're hoping to what exactly?
I'm going to make him pay.
I see.
What is he planning? I didn't catch
He
that.
said, "I'm going to make him pay."
Uh-oh.
So how exactly are you going about this?
About the making him pay or keeping up with him?
Well, either one, really. What's your intended plan of action here? He's just kind of like cutting through the crowd, weaving.
I'm blowing
back and
him
forth.
up.
Oh, you're blowing him up.
What?
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh.
Wait, no. Now hold on a moment. Exaggeration there.
hmm
I have an ability that allows me to light up flammable items. He has paint thinner mustard
Yes, he does.
and very high proof alcohol apparently.
Hmm.
I'm lighting that shit up.
I see.
You're just gonna kill him?
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Am I?
you don't die immediately. In fact,
What
most
even
of
is
those.
appropriate response at this point? Am I right?
Yeah.
What?
If
Are
anything,
you
the
are you
fire
about to
will
commit a
go up.
terrorist attack?
No, if anything, the fire will go up. It will light his clothes, and when he strips out, he will be slightly burned, but it doesn't stick. It's just gonna burn out pretty quick, actually.
Mhm.
But it's
Hey,
still
hey,
good.
hey,
Oh.
hey! I can help. I can help pat him off
Okay,
with
so
magic
what's your?
dye.
You're saying you're gonna cast Spark? Is that correct?
It's actually one of my lamplighter abilities.
Ah, okay.
Now it does specify I have to hold the item. That's very important.
Mhm.
So I would basically have to be standing next to him, hence me being invisible.
Mhm.
And then as he pulls out the bottle to lather the mustard on something, I'm gonna grab the bottle and do it.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So,
I would like a
um,
sleight of hand
you're all-
check. Thank you very much.
You're all about to
Question.
get fucking
a
arrested.
question. Am I involved? Am I going to be in the blast radius for this?
That's a good
You
question.
don't have to be.
I just imagine
You
she's coming
have
up.
to
She's coming up.
Keep in
to
mind,
like,
I don't know.
she's just
I
coming
don't
up to
know
like
what Vark
tap
is.
the box with her arcane mark, and she can't see Vark, so she doesn't know he's about to light this thing on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm.
But
the,
he can see her, so he
yeah,
would wait.
what essentially Uchiko would be doing is right now is whoops, I'll pick that up later. Would essentially be, oh hey, excuse me, sir. Touch, touch, touch. Hopefully, please, he doesn't see right off the bat. I've been trying to catch you. I've been wanting to buy a product, buy something, and then going for that whole shebang.
I see.
So she would probably stop him.
Okay, so you're flagging him down to gain his business, or so you want to make
better-
him think.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So you do this, and as he's serving another customer, he takes one of the sausages in the bun. He takes up the bottle of mustard. He upends it, starts pouring it. At which point, nobody's going to buy Alchemist Fire. No, they don't need to. The bottle snatches out of his hand and seems to levitate in midair as Vark slowly reappears into view out of invisibility, as the bottle itself seems to glow and heat up. And the stream of mustard pouring down from it, as it's still upended, ignites, going down into the box. And I need a reflex save from both of you.
I never expected this to actually go.
I feel like some
I'm
coordination
spending
would have gone a long
inspiration.
way.
Coordination?
real shame
Nah,
that
coordination's
Vark's invisible.
coordination. Teammates
Reflex,
working
you
together.
said?
Whatever.
You guys need healing? I'm out. I'm fucking drunk.
She's
Hold on.
currently just gotten done talking to a guard member at this point.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So that fucking, you guys are gonna hear about the explosion the day afterwards. Fucking, who needs threats to the kingdom when you have adventurers like these?
I hate to do this, but that silent image I used to dye my hair.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's how that works, anyways. That's a concentration spell.
Yep. So when this
Uh-oh.
happens, I need a concentration / caster level check from you, I guess.
Oh yeah, you also wanted a sort of handshake from me. It wasn't right?
Yeah, but I was going to say that for like snatching the bottle out of his hand, but with Chaiko distracting him, you no longer need that.
No, fair enough.
So wait, where's the?
I believe that would be in
we'll
your
say
spellcasting sheet.
concentration. Well, that's probably fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I get to stay blonde.
You get to stay blonde.
Singe.
There's a momentary sort of waver in the color, but you manage to keep your mind on it. Now, mind you, this is just turpentine and whatever the fuck else is in the box, so it's not a fireball. But the stream of questionable fluid coming out of the mustard bottle, which previously was bright yellow, and the flame turns a unseemly green as it trails down the stream of fluid. And there's a momentary pause as realization flickers through the faces of the man holding the box. There's Vark holding the bottle up, slowly entering vision again. Chaiko. Grim can afford a woe. Well, for your information, Vark got a 14 on his reflex. Chaiko got a 19 and a 21 on her concentration. So if you want to do that, there's the customers around. There was the person that he was just serving a sausage to, whose eyes are slowly widening as they clock just exactly what is about to happen.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can I slap both Vark and the salesman?
Just like slap them?
I just keep this in mind. I'm a random stranger who bought food from a person that just blew up in my face.
Not just yet. We're still resolving that.
Okay.
So this is that sort of slow down moment where just before the moment of disaster. Survive this time. You are a capricious and beneficent god, Grim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Grim.
The fire touches into the box, and Vark, looking down into the box, the angle you have available to you, you see just the disarray of stuff. You have what looks to be a sort of paper bag filled with those underbaked rolls. You've got what looks to be a kind of like roughly hammered out like container filled with cloudy water where the sausages are. The meat pies are just kind of sitting in a small container of their own off to like in the corner of it, and then clinking together, gathered in their own corner, are a bunch of bottles filled with what is labeled, as you reading very quickly and realizing says, what do you call it? Soggy Mountain Spring. On the bottle in a very in a rough charcoal sketch is 150%. And then the fire hits the bottom of the box, where lots of condiments and other such have definitely soaked into. And then the box becomes the best approximation anybody in this world has ever made of a Roman candle.
But instead of like little sparks flying out, sausages, right?
It's the sausages explode as the gunpowder within goes kablooey. The tops of the bottles, as they heat up, rocket off and gouts of fire shoot out of the necks. The meat pies burst upwards in a shower of stinking, possibly not meat, and now very crispy pie crust. And the condiment bottles, some of which were yellow, some of which were red, and some of which were a sickening green, all then simultaneously erupt. And the man is thrown down onto the floor with the force of which the explosion propels the box downwards. It crashes against his chest, splitting open, and the force of the explosions trapped within the tight confines of the box then force their way outwards, creating a wooden shrapnel bomb that then explodes across the street.
Hindsight, Mark, you probably just caused a lot of collateral damage, brother.
Yeah, no,
Vark
absolutely.
may or may have just committed a minor T-rism event.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh boy. So it's the first time I think I'm going to expose the players to this, but with a matter of how shrapnel works, I'm going to roll this very quickly. Like I said, it's not a fireball, so it's not going to be like 5d6 or some shit.
With this character's death, the thread of prophecy is severed.
As Vark takes 11 points of fire damage and is now afflicted with 1 point of bleed damage.
Fair enough.
Chaiko takes 5 points of fire damage and 1 point of bleed.
What does this bleed do?
Bleed.
Every round
you take
Makes it
1
bleed.
damage until you benefit from some form of healing.
Yeah. I think
I
you
didn't even notice.
I think you can also stop the bleeding with a heal check.
Yeah, you can. So if that's what I mean by like some form of healing, either something to staunch the bleeding or actual magical healing.
I need to know this, Remy. Did they just kill this man?
No, actually,
Okay, good.
he is below the blast, so actually all the shrapnel is directed upwards and away from him.
Okay.
The rest of the crowd, on the other hand, were not quite so lucky.
Ooh.
This is rather
no.
unfortunate, as this small fit of pyromania has resulted in the worst off is definitely the customer that was about to receive the mustard on their sausage, who has been thrown backwards onto the cobblestones, and it's not looking great. But the rest of the crowd gets a lot of splinters and maybe a little bit of singeing, but overall the people around you are relatively okay. There's a lot of children screaming and crying, and people running and stampeding away from this. It takes about a couple rounds, a couple seconds, for some people to gather themselves, and soon there are buckets of water being passed out. It's almost like that scene back at the warehouse. But soon there's buckets of water being upended on each of you, blood and soot, and even just a little bit of that special sauce that hasn't been ignited gets like sloughed off you guys. Like a couple of people come up with like rags to just like staunch the bleeding, knives to help like get the splinters out, especially some of the worst ones. As all of you have been thrown onto your backs by the force of the explosion. And you're held still there for a bit as the people of the community respond quickly to what just happened. But likewise are still held down by the crowd as the guard is being called for.
I'm just gonna say this as well. This Vark is the last character I thought would do something like this, so I guess he really just hates this man for selling him a shitty product.
Tycho stares at Vark.
Potentially lethal.
Yeah, potentially lethal product. Fair, but you could have went about this a more civilized way. But hey, it's fine.
I was going to ruin his reputation with
one was going through
with
character
bad
assassination.
acting.
One went for actual assassination.
Oh my god.
Yeah, again, with this character's
Again, I wanted to blow up the bottle of mustard, and that's literally it. I didn't expect this.
Oh, okay.
Tycho is going to. I imagine at this point we're forced to sit on the ground as guards do their thing and whatnot.
You're pulled off to the side. People are helping you pick the splinters out and staunch the bleeding.
All while this is happening, I would like to stare daggers at Vark. Absolute daggers.
You're both put up against the wall next to each other as people fuss about you. So you're just kind of sat next to each other, and you're just like head turned 90 degrees to the left as you glare at him.
Forget staring daggers, we're staring short swords.
Staring
Your
spears,
Vark meanwhile is staring still at the salesman.
Yeah, his ratty old top hat has been like propelled several feet away. The bottoms of his shoes got blown off, so he's currently only got he's got soulless boots at the moment, with a pair of like nasty old socks with the big toe like worn out on the ends of his feet. He's just kind of laying there on the cobbles, a little bit dazed. He gets dragged up onto the against the wall with you and is tended to as well. It takes a couple minutes, but the guard are out in force for the festival, so it doesn't take too long for them to respond to the issue. And what looks like a middle-aged woman, blonde ponytail, tall, escorted by a small contingent of guards, appears on the scene. Says, "All right, what's this then?" And she strides up to you guys where it looks like the obvious source of the blast was. She surveys the area and says, "Right, get some healers in here. Hopefully we won't need a coroner today, but alert them all the same." And then, right. So who was witness to this?
I am, the fox or young lady says.
I
Okay.
did it.
That was possibly the quickest confession I've ever had. She takes.
I see no reason to deny the blame.
All right then. Well, it's about time I got
That's
this.
it.
One moment. I want your story first before we make any judgments. So she takes a knee next to you, pulls out a notepad from underneath her breastplate. It says, "Before we begin questioning, my name is Bianca Morgenstern. I need to know that you all. I need to know that you are all of sound mind and body before I continue with this questioning. Are you capable of answering questions?"
Yes, I am.
Good. And you, young lady?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Okay. Now we can start off by you telling me what exactly happened here.
The man to whom this, well, to whom the remains of this box belong to, is a salesman of edible goods, if one can call them that. He had sold me a sausage in a bun a few moments ago, and covered in what he called mustard. It was my first time tasting it. Not that it matters. After tasting it, I identified it to be made of partially paint thinner. Something that I am pretty sure does not belong in food in any capacity.
Most certainly would be the case. I've only had mustard a couple times myself. It's not exactly a commonality around here, but typically speaking, the contents of mustard sauce does not contain any form of paint thinner. She makes a note in the notebook.
I am an alchemist by trade. That's how I was able to identify.
I see.
Unfortunately, due to my actions, there might not be any mustard remaining to prove my
That is
claim.
that is an issue. And she looks at the man on the that sat next to you. Gives him a look over. He's kind of dazed, maybe a bit concussed. Seems to have possibly hit his head on the cobblestones. And she gives him a look over and says, "It doesn't exactly look like he's of sound enough mind to potentially testify. Not that if he really was pulling such a con, he would confess to such. Meaning we have no evidence."
Now, I am fully willing to admit that my action to confront him about this was, in theory, practical. In practice, I was overzealous. I wanted to prove to him and his other customers the danger of what he had concocted by igniting the mixture that he had created. I did not expect it to blow up, and I especially did not expect him to carry a lot more and some such concoctions in his box, which all went up subsequently, causing this explosion.
See. She continues to jot notes in her notebook. Says, "Well,
I am fully not. I am fully aware of my fault in this. I am the sole person to blame, even if he did sell me something dangerous to consume, and I am willing to pay for the damages. I just want this man to realize what he did and to stop doing it in the future."
I understand that." She finishes writing, puts the pencil she's using into the rings of the notebook. Says, "Well, ma'am, is there a name you'd like to provide, or would you like to remain anonymous for this?" She turns to face Chaiko in her disguise.
Oh, that was I heard man.
Ma'am.
Sorry. Yes, my name is Rachel.
Okay, Rachel, can you verify the story? Does this sound accurate?
Yes, it does.
Let's see.
I was going to. Do you want me to explain my side?
Please do.
How I.
The more perspective. We have no physical evidence at this point beyond the damage done, so the more testimony, the better.
So it started with me. I was in. That man, points at Vark, was selling potions with another person. And that salesman, if you want to call him that, walked over. I didn't hear much of the conversation, but it seemed like he gave them food. And he ate it, immediately felt ill, looked like he felt ill, handed it to his coworker, I guess. He ate it, didn't seem too happy with it either. So I was wondering, since I don't know, sense of justice, I guess. Went and followed the guy because I wanted to see for myself if this food was bad or not. Call it curiosity, call it, I don't know. I just wanted to see. If it was bad, so I was gonna try to get something done about it. But before I could even get to the man, there he was, this appeared, and then fireworks.
Let's see. Appeared, you say?
Mm-hmm.
As if from thin air? Was there magic at work on this?
Log not.
I see.
Huh?
I see. Okay then. Now, thank you, Ben, for your testimony, Rachel. Once the healers come and check you over, you'll be free to go. I understand sometimes the impulse to attempt a citizen's arrest or enact justice, but both of you are quite clearly not from around here. That's okay. We don't turn away people just because they have different values or because they're not native to here, but we do have certain things that we hope that we can expect foreign nationals to acknowledge and abide by. This is our kingdom, this is how we run it. And in the future, if you have a matter of concern when it comes to legality or justice or anything like that, we ask you not to go above the law for that. Next time that you run into something like this, please let myself or another guard know. In particular, on a day like this in the festival, we are everywhere. Now, that said, extra legal or not, what you did today was very reckless. I applaud your maturity in taking the blame fully on yourself and for being willing to shoulder the repercussions of that. Though I do still feel the need to remind you that this was exceedingly reckless. And as a knowledgeable alchemist should know, flammable things under pressure result typically in explosions, whether that's a bottle or a box.
You're very true.
For the time being, what is your name?
My name is Lark. I am beloved.
Beloved. I see. I'll have to ask by who, because going by the looks you're currently getting, you're not very beloved at the moment. We're going to have to take you down to the guard post for a time. You may have to spend the night there until we ascertain whether or not any of these injuries result in casualties, and then see whether or not any of the citizenry would like to press charges against you. And then you really will have to start paying.
What's at this point, Rachel will say, "I'll go tell your coworker that this happened."
I wanted to ask you to do that, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, we're going to have to take you down to the guard post. We're going to have to log this. You may have to spend some time in jail. We may just have to keep you in holding for a bit as we figure out what exactly we're going to do about this. But what is definitely going to happen is I'm going to write you a warning. We're going to create a record for you. You are going to be at least provisionally prohibited from practicing alchemy within the walls of the city for a time.
Understandable.
Thank you for being straightforward and forthright. I appreciate why you did this with a concern for yourself and for others. But think ahead a little bit more next time. If not for nobody else, but for your own sake.
It was impulsive of me. You're right.
Thank you. Now, we're gonna wait until the healers get here. We're gonna make sure you're all okay, and that she looks towards the customer previously who got the worst of the explosion, who is looking a little bit like a porcupine at the moment. It's not moving, as a couple of individuals are like working to staunch the bleeding, hold them, keep them awake, and for your sake, Vark, beloved, I hope they pull through. For their sake, more so.
I do have a potion of healing.
If you're willing
on my person.
if you're willing to sacrifice that, that can potentially get you some leniency.
I can create them.
Can Rachel leave the scene?
She did say once the healers get here and make sure you're okay. Because guard procedure, not allowed to clear people and allow them away from the scene of crime until you get their testimony and make sure that they're of sound body. And of sound mind, but yes. It takes a couple of minutes, but the healers eventually do arrive. Vark, the potion you volunteer, helps greatly in staunching the bleeding and making sure that the incidental casualty does not become a fatality. Eventually, the healers, through some sidewalk surgery, managed to get the worst of the shrapnel out before then carting the person off to probably to a healer's tent somewhere, which are stationed intermittently around the city. The healers also check you guys over. They check you, make sure there's no concussions, there's no hidden injuries, there's no bleeding that you guys didn't realize, no shrapnel that made its way past your clothing. They give you a pass over. They nod to the guard in question, Bianca. She says, "Okay, you're good to go. Rachel, you're free to go as you wish, and make sure that his co-worker knows." Mark, you'll be coming
Quick
with me.
question.
Yes.
Where can I tell them that Mr. Vark's going?
He'll be going to the closest guard's tent in this case. She'll gesture down the street and say, about a couple minutes down that way, about a block.
All right, thank you. I'll be on my way.
That's my main point of stationing.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to go now and go find his coworker because
That's
me and my goody two shoesness.
you go above and beyond. I appreciate that. This is not your responsibility, but you do it. Says much about you. And with that, she will take one arm underneath Vark's armpit, heave him up, and say, "Can you walk?"
I can, yes.
Very good. Follow me.
If you need to manacle me, that is absolutely fine.
Do you feel like you need to be manacled?
Absolutely not.
Then we will not. I'll trust you to walk alongside me.
Thank you very much.
Good. I don't like treating people like second-class citizens just because they made a mistake.
I appreciate that.
And so, she will escort you over to the nearest guard tent.
Question.
Sure.
Can I, on Chico's way back, Rachel says bye-bye. Can I cut through like can I find like an alleyway that's devoid of people and
At the moment, probably not. The city is quite bustling.
Can
You know,
Hmm?
I was gonna say, this is just an intrusive thought. I imagine Flick, Tyrion, and Mallory are also at that guard's tent right now because they were being too rowdy because they've been drinking.
No, we were at the bar.
I'd say they're still at the bar, or at the very least they're still like at various points in their personal journeys before they end up at the bar. It's a little earlier than that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just thought that'd be funny.
They might get written up at one point, or scolded by a guard for being too noisy. It is something.
I would like you to look at the simple past channel.
Boy.
I have the next question for you then after that when I look in Simple Paths as well.
Party.
That's so
okay,
good.
like can I
Is that our is that the what do you call it?
High school
The high
AU,
school
yeah.
AU.
I wrote it right above there.
Party,
Oh
party.
my
What?
god.
I like that Flick is fucking stoned out of his mind. What the fuck? He's already fucked up.
I gave him the shaggy fit.
Also, okay.
Love that.
I guess
Does
I'll
Drago
plan-
get back to Holo Holo?
Yes.
well, hold
I
on.
would assume so.
Yes, I wanted to ask something on my way to there. To Hollow. I would like Tycho to lose the blonde hair, use her sleeves of many was it the sleeves of many what are they called?
Sleeve
Wait a
of
minute.
many garments?
Yeah.
Maybe is that it?
That would be it.
Use that to change outfits and turn into her kitsune form at some point during the way to and from.
Does Flick have a fucking vape?
Yes, he does. He does have it. I only
I
know
love
what one looks like because some asshole down the escalator was vaping right in front of me.
I love this.
But yeah,
We saved my friend. This is completely unrelated. We saved my friend from a vaping addiction because every time that he would start vaping, we would call it his pacifier, and we would make baby noises at him.
Aw.
That's
And it
pretty
worked.
good. That's
It
a pretty
worked.
good way of doing
It
it.
worked.
It worked. He got off it. He was like, I had
Yeah.
to take
So
your-
yeah, you
take
saved
your
him from a
drugs."
vaping addiction. You gave him an infantilism thing.
Yes. Now he's really into it. No, I'm kidding.
oh no. Anyways,
Yeah,
Chico.
anyway, I need to go to bed.
Go get some sleep.
Oh.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
Sleep well.
Yes.
Good
Nice.
night.
We're getting close to wrapping up the
I'm gonna
session.
die.
So I'm gonna say this is where we start hitting the end of day 2.
So, yeah.
So can I do my magic trick?
Absolutely. You
Just
you can do it like when you
Just-
like find out like a spot behind a tent, or like while you're passing through a thick part of the crowd, maybe.
yes, that's one thing I was actually going to mention because I remember seeing thing a while back. I know it, me, the player, but Fox may not. That you can just honestly, if you go to a giant crowd, change your clothes mid during it, like no one's going to pay attention.
Even the people you change right
but-
next to will like maybe do a double take and then just write it off sometimes. Yeah, you can
Yep.
absolutely do that. I would say Chico may have even learned that at some previous point of just being a shape changer. She's practiced and tried out different types of ways of different opportunities when otherwise
She-
the
she
quiet
doesn't-
moment might not be available.
Yeah, she doesn't show this often, but she is still quite the trickster sometimes.
Mhm.
There's a spell I need to show
Thanks.
you after once this is done anyway.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Rachel, for being nice and useful. Trico's here now.
Okay, so you've changed back into Chico. And you approach the Bernie cart, the chart cart. The chart.
Yeah. Hollow.
Which one?
Got arrested.
Wait,
Oh yeah,
Varka.
she lost the mask at some point too.
Hmm.
When I mean, lost it, she's like, it's in
did.
her bag or something. It's in the bag.
Yeah, wait, Vart got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have heard the explosion.
You know that hot dog? Yeah. You know that hot dog guy that's told you that stuff?
Holo's gonna look over at the sign, plus put the added now selling aloe vera tag mark ever since the explosion came up or something like that, and just look like the Chico. Yes.
Yeah. Vark kind of blew him up. And he's now being held at one of the tents. Do you want to get him or do you want me to get him?
I'll go get him, but I'm gonna go get someone else real quick, and then Holo's gonna put up word closed. Word closed sign. Get out.
Get me. What are you doing?
No.
You never really partied until you spent a night in the drunk tank.
Break you out, but I am gonna go back up into like where we're staying at. I'm gonna go knock on Kari's door.
Okay, so you return to the hotel room, or to his hotel room.
I go to Vark's tent. I'm waiting for them there.
Okay.
What the fuck do you expect Kari to do? To kick the fucking tent down and break him out of
No,
prison?
no, he's just gonna tell Kari. He is gonna tell.
Technically, Karya is one of the now quote unquote, air quotes. You can't see me doing air quotes with my fingers, but I'm doing them. Diplomats of the party, given he's constantly trying to talk us out of violence. So it makes
No,
sense.
Why do you think I'm going in?
Yeah,
I have the
Yeah.
charisma
Kari-
score here.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Kari
That's
is
fair.
actively trying to talk people down from killing, but he's just you're gonna knock and you're just gonna get like the eye peek. What?
not Vark got arrested.
Is that all?
Do you want to go visit him?
Is he dead? What? What?
Corpse. That's right.
What about arrested? Does do you not understand?
Well, then why do we need to visit him if we know where he is?
I don't know. You sound like the type that'll be curious about what happened.
No. If Vark, of all people, if Vark got arrested, it was probably for a good reason.
Yeah, he blew up a food stand. Does Kari just look at him stale face?
Yeah, he
No,
just.
hold.
Fire put this on, and he's just gonna close the door. It's just
Looking simple.
and a couple.
Lovely. Okay. So what is Fire putting on?
Dude, I blew up mustard. What the?
You said
He's gonna take his snuggie off, and then he's going to like drape the cloak around Vair, hood and all, so that he's not appeering outwardly as a dragon in public, and he's just at least as best he possibly
Wait,
can.
so it's just like a sheet ghost?
Yeah, no, he's literally sheet ghosted Vair, so it's very obvious he still has a serpentine tail and claws, but it's just covering his nose, like his face. He just looks like a sheet
it's covering
ghost.
his face, his torso, like his back legs. But as he's going, his tail is still sweeping out behind it, and there's still the click clack of claws on the pavement.
Exactly, yeah. So he is literally just a sheet ghost.
He looks like looks like if you put a bed sheet over a greyhound, but for some reason this black carapace tail was coming out the back.
It's just got a really long tail, and Karya will, very tired. Yeah, he'll come out, he'll step with sheet ghost Vair and go, where?
At a nearby guard tent. If I'm gonna be fair, the guy did essentially poison people with mustard.
No, again, my stance hasn't changed. That if anyone got arrested, if it was Vark, it was probably for a good reason.
Yeah.
Me to Vark.
Okay, yeah, and then I'll leave. Is Trico still outside? Or did she
Trico's by the
you
tent.
exit. You proceed towards the guard tent, like potentially asking directions from a couple of guards here and there.
What you probably see is
they'll direct you towards a holding tent where you'll then see Chico sitting and waiting just outside.
no.
Sorry? No.
Criminal Clark. If it's
Wait a
just that.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, it might have either been on my end or your end, but can you repeat that?
I heard some cutting out, yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yes. Chico, what were you saying?
Oh, what you'd probably see is Trico just angrily staring at the tent.
Just kind of standing there, arms crossed in front of her.
Our eyes, brows furrowed. You can very much see the anger on her face, which is something you don't see in her kitsune form quite often.
Did you also have a part in blowing up the mustard man?
I was a part of it by being blown up.
I see. You would be surprised how easily fire catches fur. Well, okay.
Anyway. I wasn't like this when it happened, so I'm fine. Shush.
So yes,
I see.
The three of you are now gathered outside the holding tent. if you would approach inside, well, first there will be a couple of guards stationed outside who would motion for you to stop and say, hello, citizens, how can we help you today?
I'm looking
We're
to
here to-
seek out. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
we're here to see the dumbass who blew up a food cart not too long ago.
Oh, yes, the beloved one. Yeah, we've heard about him.
No one loves him right now.
No, I don't imagine they do. We've had more than a few angry people complaining about that, seeking damages. If you want to...
Yeah, unfortunately, he's with us, so it's a little worse.
Okay, just a heads up now. If you bring that up formally, you may be expected to potentially shoulder any burdens he cannot himself afford. If you go inside, he is currently with Captain Bianca.
Sounds good. Bill it to the estate of Lydia the Rose or something. Okay. He's just kind of gonna walk
Gives
past.
you an odd look at that. Who?
Where's she'll look. Chico will look at where's Siren?
Now we smash cut to like the
What
dancing,
will you do
drinking
with
on
the
top of
drunken
table.
Siren?
What do you do with the drunken Siren? People like
Flick,
them singing
Flick at this
them
point
singing
is
the
now
shanties, the crowd responding back, call and response.
Flick at this point is Flick at this point has now is now to the best of his abilities trying to lead the crowd in singing whatever this world's equivalent of the sea shanty South Australia.
Oh, good.
You know, in South Australia I was born. Heave away all the way. Something
What's
like that.
Australia?
What's
Yeah. Hence why I say whatever this world's equivalent of that shanty is.
It's actually just still Australia. No, I'm kidding.
It's just Australia.
Australia is a mythical land in these parts. Anyways,
South
entering and moving past the
Australia.
guard, waving his hand off, just like, okay, Car will dip under the tent with Vair in tow again, just
This fucking bedsheet dog Vair.
his bed sheet ghost, and look around.
Okay. You
Where's
look
Mark?
around. Inside, there's a couple of desks, a few foot lockers and chests. What looks to be a steel bar cage set up in the corner of the tent, reserved for the more unruly patrons, but sat on a stool with the rather beefy, imposing figure of a large armored woman sitting next to him, speaking to him, is Vark.
Oh,
Holo is just gonna immediately walk up and say, "Okay, how many things did he damage?"
Well, she looks up to you and says, "Hello,
You don't.
Looking at you, I assume you're his business partner then."
Yep.
I see. Well, my condolences
They
for
start-
the damages incurred against you by the core suspect of this case. He is currently being checked over to make sure he is capable of testifying before we start interrogating him. That said, as for how much is damaged, not many things. Just one box filled with suspect product that has now been vaporized. Our biggest concerns are the people that have been injured. Thankfully, most of them are doing okay, and thanks to the volunteering of a healing potion from Vark here, the person who was the most injured is thankfully going to recover just fine. They may find themselves with a few pockmark scars along their bodies later on in life, but I think that's better than bleeding out.
Can I just?
I'm sorry, wait, you started a business. I was gone for a day.
I'm led to believe these two are running an alchemical stand not far from here.
I'll tell you about it later.
I'm very confused as to why I'm here.
I don't know. I don't know why they brought you. I was assuming it was moral support. But
Are you feeling all right, Vark?
Give me a moment.
Wait, why?
I can't say it with the Vark fault. I'm laughing too hard.
What happened?
A quick question for the DM, real quick. What time does session end?
soon.
Okay.
Sometime in the next
Okay.
10 minutes, I would say.
Deep breath. Deep
Okay,
breath.
cool. I can go get
Basically,
dinner after this one.
whenever this scene
Okay.
finishes, I would say.
Oh. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yes, I am feeling very morally supported right now. Thank you, Karia.
Very good. I will now return to my quarters as my moral obligation to make Vark feel better is good. You are still pretty. I remember that made you happy. Okay.
A light blush across his cheeks.
Very good. Well then, I've done my part. I'm returning to my room. I will see you all when this is done. Don't talk to me. Turns around and immediately starts leaving. That was
So
it.
you leave,
I
the,
give
the
them.
flaps of the tent close, and Bianca looks down at Vark and says, I'm starting to wonder whether or not the moniker of Beloved was given to you out of irony.
That's the title his mom gave him.
It's a long story.
You don't have to give
But
it to
it
me
isn't.
necessarily, but now I'm curious of whether
It
or
all
not you
started
two...
when I was born.
That is quite a long story, yes. Though I'm curious, given the exchange you just had, are you involved?
No.
Okay, that was going to be a bit awkward. I was going to wonder about
I
the
was gonna
size
cover
difference.
the day.
Wait, what?
If
Wait, what was asked? I didn't quite catch that.
Oh no, it was the guard
we are
captain asking
involved.
whether or not the two of them were intimately entangled.
The two of who?
Vark
the
and
size
Karya.
difference coming.
Oh.
Not the size difference coming.
Not the size difference.
I mean, one guy is fucking 7 feet tall, the other's like 5.5.
True.
Yep.
But yeah, no.
Bed Sheet, Ghost, and Karya are leaving. That's an
Bed sheet ghost.
When you stop outside, Vair has one look up at one of the guards who are just outside the tent and goes, "Woo," and then continues walking.
Woo!
Not
The
now,
guard
Vader.
just
You
shakes
are
his
a
head and
danger.
goes,
Oh, I'm a
But in Draconic, so it's like.
yeah, it's just in Draconic goes. And then the guard just
Vader.
shakes his head and goes, "He's a weird fuck."
What a weird day. No, just looking back, no one will believe you. Keep walking.
Anyways,
But yeah, so the guard captain goes, okay, so in all seriousness, as for how much is hurt, how much is damaged, we're still tallying it all up. That's why we've got your friend in holding for the time being.
do you think 250 gold could cover it?
I am not going to say just yet.
Hollow, don't even try this right now.
I'm gonna do it.
Do not do that.
Do not.
If you do that before we actually come up with any sort of before any charges are drafted up or actual damages are collated, that could be construed as bribery. We are going to follow.
Correct.
We are going to follow the procedure and the letter of the law on this. If all is well and nobody comes to press charges within the day, then only the damages for property damaged and harm will be pressed. A fine will be levied, and your friend here will have a provisional ban on practicing alchemy within the nation of Orbis.
How long?
For
exactly?
For a first offense, around 3 months. If he does a repeat offense, it could be as long as several years. If he offends for a third time, or he does so while he's still on probation, it will be a lifetime ban and potentially time in prison.
So is this like you just can't sell, or
He cannot knowingly use alchemical supplies. He cannot concoct anything, and he cannot sell it. Also,
Well, I guess I'm doing most of the work.
Ownership of alchemical products in excess of safe amounts can potentially be fined. We take this is an urban environment. Things are very packed quite close together in some places. Fire breaking out here can be quite dangerous. We take these things rather seriously, and we do not appreciate irresponsible use of high explosives, chemicals, chemical processes, and magic. The regulation of magic and alchemy is already a very hotly contested topic. We try to keep it as lenient as possible, but we don't want our city burning down because somebody decided to experiment around with what alchemist fire and a flask of acid may combine into. This is why we have licenses. You are foreign nationals, and as a result, you are not necessarily always expected to carry valid licenses for all professions. When first arriving, there is a leniency policy for such cases. But seeing as you are all foreigners within our soil, and this is a first-time offense for a reckless action that was done while with good intentions, led to the active and reckless harm of a crowd of innocents, and if I'm going to be quite forthright here, barely even hurt the person who was actually the intended target. Now,
were you even able to detain that man, or is he
oh, he's been
scot-free?
detained, and he is going to be questioned once we know that he's not concussed beyond coherency.
In all honesty, I did not even mean to harm him. I meant to harm no one.
Then I'm going to be a little bit mean-spirited here and say, then why did you use fire?
Paint thinner is flammable.
Paint thinner, yes, you lit something on fire. I'm sorry, but that was reckless. She's kind of taken on almost maybe a little bit of a condescending tone with this, as if a parent chiding a child. I need you to think ahead next time for this. There are more people in a given situation than just yourself and the target of your grievance.
You are absolutely right. As I mentioned before, I acted on impulse. Now, while I don't
I'm sure
mean to excuse my action,
yes,
my kind does not experience senses in general
I see.
as much as others do. So when I tasted the mixture, it had an enhanced effect on me. Hence my knee-jerk reaction, I believe, is
We can sometimes make provisions for unique edge cases with different races and species. And again, your cooperation in the aftermath, as well as your assistance with tending to the wounded, will earn you a good amount of leniency in this. I ask that you practice more situational awareness in the future. If you are as capable of an alchemist as you say you are, you should observe safety guidelines more strictly. I understand you're probably used to being more independent. You all strike me as travelers, and so you're probably used to most of the consequences of your actions stretching no further than your own front yard, so to speak.
That is correct, yes.
I understand it's difficult sometimes to shift your habits to accommodate new environments, but given that you are guests here within the kingdom and in our city, I ask you make that change anytime you find yourselves here. We will always be happy to have you, but only so long as you can meet us halfway. Now, once we get the damages totaled up and we get the number on just how much you will have to pay, and we get the warning drafted, your probationary ban from the practice of alchemy, we can then likely release you, and you can go about your way. Quite honestly, you'll probably go right back to traveling. You'll come back, and the ban will have expired by then. Though I hope the less it does not.
Yeah, we were planning on leaving early.
In the end,
Yeah.
We still gotta talk to Guillermo.
To Guillermo. Oh, yes, I forget that the king has open audiences on occasion. So, what I do ask, and this is not even for the sake of the kingdom, though that is one of my primary concerns. This is whenever you should find yourself going from city to city, town to town, is don't forget this lesson, that for the safety of anybody you are in the same city as, be more careful in the future, please.
Well, thank you.
And I won't nag or lecture you any further. I think the point has been driven home. At any point, any further lecturing will likely just have the opposite effect. You will have to remain here at the very least for a few hours, possibly have to stay the night, in which case we have a cot, and we will provide you food and drink.
Thank you very much.
You more than likely.
I have a question.
I am regretful to say that you're probably going to have to spend some time here as the drunks come in and out. That is primarily what the cage is for. That's our drunk tank. We won't force you to stay in there with them, though. We like having the bars between us and them just as much as anybody. Yes, Chico, you were saying something?
Thank you very much.
Yes. Question: Can I stay somewhat near? Because unfortunately, I'm in charge of this gaggle gang, and this is what happens when you let them out of my supervision for 1 minute.
If you're claiming responsibility for the group, then well, don't know how to...
I'm claiming partial responsibility for letting him out of my sight for more than a minute.
I would hope that it wouldn't need the. I would hope that a grown adult would not need another adult to constantly supervise them.
Vark, do you want to explain how you're born in your unique situation?
Is that entirely necessary?
It has no. No.
I feel like that's
okay.
Not, why is somebody's
I guess
birth?
I missed that question. Vark, how old are you again?
He's not from this realm, ma'am.
From this. I'm sorry. Are you saying he's extraplanar?
I don't. He be like that pinch with the bridge of his nose.
I understand now why now this is a long story. Okay.
This is not information that should just be flaunted about.
That's why I changed the question to how old you are. How old is Vark technically? I forget.
4 years old.
Well, no,
technically.
not technically.
Yeah,
because
no,
he
not
had
really.
a life before he was summoned.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, he is officially, I believe I made him like 22 or 25, but it's been 5 years since he came to the material plane.
5 years
he
old.
likes
Got
to
it.
say he's 5 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay. I'm going. That's not relevant to the investigation, so I'm not going to push on
It
it.
does not, no.
And honestly, that sounds like something that is more the realm of scholars and philosophers, not really for a guard woman like myself. So, and it sounds like Vark doesn't very much want to talk about it. So I'm going to push past that, and I'm just going to say, regardless of where your origins might be from or what happened, I'm just going to label this as a strange, it came as a particularly sensitive interaction with a noxious, poisoned condiment that led to such an overreaction. And hopefully we won't have to delve into the probably mountain of bureaucracy that would come from having to file a police report about a interplanar traveler. Ugh, okay. Not my business, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Am I allowed to stay here to keep?
You may.
Am I allowed to stay until he gets released?
You may stay here for as long as you want. Please do not get in the way of the guards or any of their functions, any of their tasks, any of the things they need to do. Don't interfere with anybody being brought in. Stay out of the way, and you can stay as long as you wish, if you want to keep him company.
In case it does make the paperwork a bit easier, I do have a legal residence.
You do?
Yes.
Is it within the city?
Unfortunately not. It was in Rosino.
Well, that's closer than other alternatives. That's something, at least. We do have an extradition treaty with Rosino, so that'll make things a little bit easier. Okay. We'll log that in the case that we need to bill it to the residents, and it will potentially, hopefully, hopefully not need to result in collateral.
At some point, Jacob will say to Hollow Hollow real quick. Hey, Hollow Hollow, do you know where the others are? What was it? Siren, Flick. Yes, Flick and Mallory. Do you know where they're at? You know, I noticed. I don't think. Did you tell them already?
Kari is up pouting, and would I actually know where the others are at?
Nope, no idea.
Did you just say he's pouting?
Yeah. Yeah.
His family member died. Oh, he's pouting.
It's a distant relative. It's like hearing about that uncle you never talked to who just kind of passed away. You know.
Don't care anyway.
I just realized like Kari is into the way back. He got light here. He got light here.
I can probably find his way back, no problem. It's literally just a block and a half away.
Okay, good.
Run with the street map. What is
It's
this?
hard. It's hard for
Light
him.
in the sky.
It's really hard to be a brooding dark mess when you're like lost and far from home.
The sheep goes like next to you.
Yeah. It really is like something off of an episode. It really is something like an episode of Peanuts. Look at Barry is Snoopy.
Hollow Hollow.
Go ahead.
I was like, Hollow can if you want have to. If you find Siren and Code, can you tell them what happened to Vark as well? If not, I'll find out in the morning.
So I don't know where they're at right now, but do I know like what they went off to do?
Going off of like for Flick, going off of yesterday, he's probably gone off drinking somewhere. Knowing Mallory's bad habits, he's probably gone off drinking somewhere. And knowing Siren, she's probably drinking tea somewhere.
Actually, wait. If Chaco just said that out in front of me, would the guard captain lady comment on Chaco saying Siren? Like looking, like do you know where Siren and all them are at?
Yeah. Maybe.
Like would she say anything? Yeah.
Oh, like she overheard you? Yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't. Chaika wasn't being quiet. She was actually just trying to inquire about the locations of her other companions.
Mm.
Yeah. The only reason I ask is maybe she might know, but otherwise Holo might not. Doesn't know it either.
Yeah. No. In the case that you bring up Siren's name, oh, I met a young lady by the name of Siren. Are you friends of hers?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, that's a little too rude.
That's.
I'm tired today. Okay.
That's a shame. She was such a nice young lady. Well, last I
She
saw
is
her,
nice.
she
Polar
was on
opposite of me.
She was on a city corner, like a street corner, drinking tea, talking to people. Last I checked.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it does.
Well, I don't
Well,
know, Ari. Things aren't roboting on my end.
Nope.
Because Ari's saying that people's voices are roboting. It's not for me. My quality's fine on my end.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Strange.
But at that point, Jack will say, "Well, hello. If you want to go find them, have fun. If you don't, we'll tell them tomorrow."
Let me change something real quick. I'm gonna do desktop audio instead. All right. Right. I think voice quality should be a little bit better.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, she's just gonna. Okay. Well, that explains her talking about being sort of a wandering adventurer. If you're all involved with that. Yeah, I think the issue there was that it was a separate instance of the Discord audio being rerouted through OBS, where now it's just the straight desktop audio that's being recorded. God, can't wait for the recording of that. Anyway, yeah. So okay. So for the time being, I need to get back to patrol. Mark, please stay here until things are sorted out. Hopefully you shouldn't be here for too long, but it may be several hours before we're able to release you. Keep in mind what we talked about, and hopefully any other time we see each other, it'll be on much more friendly terms. I would love to hear, and I would love to see more of what people, what makes you so beloved. It definitely would be preferable to this. and she will stand and replace the helmet on her head before pushing her way out of the tent, leaving the flaps to close behind her.
I guess I'm gonna go look around the city.
Oh boy.
Have fun.
Also,
shit.
do you have sending at all, Holo Holo?
Actually, do I? I don't think I do because I don't think witches actually get it. But
That's a good point.
Something. I was gonna. Tycho says, "Don't stay out too late. If you can't find them, just let them be." She's done. She's not very unhappy ever since bomb went off in front of her face.
But yeah, I'm gonna look down that pocket a little bit. Like, okay, you look in that direction. Going this direction.
Oh boy, I can't wait to go in a crowd where I'm going to be up to people's knees.
Don't play coy with me anyway.
Don't play coy with
Mhm. I was there. I'm not being coy. I just feel like Harp. She will then strut off into the crowd.
But
Holo Holo completely dumbfounded as Lolo leaves the scene of the crime.
Tycho breaks the fourth wall. Now's a bad joke.
You know what else is a bad joke? Your life.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Your life is divine comedy, and I'm the only one laughing.
Well, at least I'm doing my job.
He is
At least
not to
I'm
be
doing
fair.
my job. Someone's
I
laughing.
put the divine in divine comedy.
Yay!
Hey.
Yes, I
I
think
don't
that's.
know.
When you're drunk.
I put the Inferno in Dante's Inferno.
That sounds like you need to speak to a medical professional.
I
They
have
cranes for that.
IBS. No, I'm kidding.
I have IBS.
Before we turn this into
Penis
some,
cranes.
before we turn this into some shitty pharmaceutical commercial, fucking get some washed up C
Dragon
rank.
Slayer for chemical remedies.
Yeah.
Now,
Also-
Like you can complete the look of the stall with by getting some C rank, like C rate fucking celebrity washed up like in their 60s or 70s to come up and do your advertisement.
Also, full disclosure, I do not in fact have IBS. for legal reasons, this is a joke.
For the sake of my reputation. Anyway, yes.
No
so,
IBS stolen valor here.
So, the four of you spent the time either brooding or dealing with the legal aftermath of the exploding vendor incident. And three of you are currently shit-faced in a bar, kicking your feet up and dancing on tables. All seven of you are probably going to be feeling this in the morning. And that's how we're going to close out the second day of the festival. My god, that was a single day.
Yeah, it was a single day.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't expecting us to spend. I was expecting us to be like, oh yeah, maybe we just go through the festivities real quick, the first 40 minutes a session, and then we move on to the next part
I
of
was
the
wondering
story.
if that was
But
going to
this
be
was
the case.
good.
I was maybe expecting you guys to go in, like see some of the attractions, see some of the performers, but no, it's I want to run a stall. I want to blow up a mustard vendor.
This is a lot more.
As
This
as
is
the
fun.
camera slowly pans and zooms away from Vark and it fades to black, he pulls out a little harmonica, begins playing.
God.
Do not begin.
No, for those who did not catch it, which I think was most people, the vendor in question was a character from was based off of a character from the Discworld novels. His name was
Never read Discworld.
well, of course he did. His name is Claude Maximilian Overton Transpire Dibbler, also known as Cut Me Own Throat Dibbler. He is something of a continuous appearance in many Discworld novels. In where he shows up and tries to sell various different just crap. Always with always with various flavors of swearing up and down on his life that his stuff is of quality. Like for instance, he goes on under many monikers such as swallow me own blow dart, may I be kicked in my own ice hole, may I never achieve enlightenment, cut me own hand off de blah, disembowel myself honorably de bala, various other things. He in that case he was selling suspiciously fresh 1,000-year-old eggs. not necessarily the most reputable individual. And it is at this point when he finally gets carted into the holding tent, gets actually put in the drunk tank with as he's now going to be questioned. Yes. She looks him up and down, gets a real good look at his face as we're just fading out of the scene. Has a look at him and goes, "Did you try to sell me real estate at some point?"
Damn.
That's
Yeah, his
rough, buddy.
it's like it was CMOT, Dibbler Practically Real Estate and Associates. And she's like, "Yeah, you were the sales representative of Practically Real Estate and Associates. I remember you." And that's where the nail in the coffin is hammered in.
I hate to be that guy, but I'm gonna cut a little early because I want to run to dinner because
Oh no,
it's
that's
time.
fine. This is just about where we're going to end it.
So
Thank you.
I'm a skedaddle.
Go on.
Bye.
Go, be gone.
But
Get out of here. Go eat.
Yeah.
And there he goes. So yes, thank you guys very much for playing, and thank you for the folks who came out and watched those days didn't. Thank you very, 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 very much. And we'll simply see you next time. Sorry that the day kind of got staggered back a bit. Yesterday was an auspicious day where the baby's birthday was celebrated, so we ended up pushing Simple Path back a day. Have a very, very happy Sunday to those who it is still Sunday. For the rest of us in the European land, it is now just after midnight on a Monday, so I'm gonna go get some sleep. Thank you for the self-care, Grim, sending us out.
Very good. Take care, everybody.
Take
Take
Everybody
care,
good
I'm
y'all.
wondering if
You're
the
on.
next day of session will be just as eventful. We'll see.
I take it next session's gonna be the aftermath with Vark and like us meeting with the king, and maybe a little bit after that.
Maybe also hangovers for three of you.
I mean, if this session's anything to go by, yeah, no, it's probably good. It's probably gonna be something.
Yeah, that or
Next
you
session
guys
is-
that you guys decide to just take the third day easy. As some of you have to nurse hangovers, some of you have to deal with the legal aftermath.
Quiet.
Sounds like a day in kind of day.
Guillermo kicks it off with, "I was going to yell at Karya for eating the dragon's heart, but then I heard that Vark committed an act of terror. And then..."
So now I get to yell at now I get to yell at more than one person. Lovely. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and send this out for the time being. You guys take care.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Ram, I'm going to send you a message just about the things that Karya wants to do
Gotcha. Am I
with
lighting you up
the
now?
king.